Yo, yo, yo. Tuesday night, I will say I was setting up the overlay for the best ball stream Thursday night, and I changed the nights from plural to singular because the Thursday after next will be Thursday night football kicking off the season. How you doing, Jeremy? And how could you not be doing great? Football is back.
I know, and as anyone that's been on the socials, we're rolling out Dynasty Daddy season 4. We've been around technically for 4 seasons, so a lot of exciting things, and I'll be rolling out breakdowns of features and all of that as we jump into the season. But let's get into some of these trades and get the ball rolling.
Again, I will say, check the Twitter, check the YouTube with the breakdowns for season 4. I was going to break down all that's on season 4, but I feel like as someone who wasn't involved in the development, it's a lot from the fan perspective. So I highly recommend all the Dynasty Daddy users out there to give it a go. Check it out for yourself. What is up? Big Diaz ballin' indeed. LFG Dynasty Daddy Delight, no auto tune or auto draft. I will say real quick, the Dynasty Daddy tonight that had the auto tune going, that was not auto tune. That was Will playing the audio twice on top of itself, and so I sounded like auto tune. That's a little preview for what you get.
Oh, I thought I was catching a stray. For the. We did have an auto draft pick.
Oh yeah,
that probably one of our Dynasty Daddy leagues. I did get hit with the Xavier Legette auto pick, so
could have been worse. Maybe, yeah, could have been slightly worse at least. Real quick before we get into the trades, though, I'm gonna do the good streamer thing, content guy. Thursday night, the last best ball draft stream if you want to be there, and also, almost more importantly, new video out, 6 players, and hear about if Jeremy is buying the hype or not.
Ooh.
Heck yeah, I'm live on the channel. Definitely check it out if you have not. But let's get into these trades. I'm gonna pull up this one, and I know Justin. I've got actually let's hit this Justin one. I've got it ready here. So this is Justin. This was before we had the stream stuff ready. So it's looking a little funky, but we got it here. 10-team PPR 1 QB, the 25-203 or Brandon Ayuk, and the 402 and 407. 10-team PPR 1 quarterback. So that 203 is slightly worse.
Those fourths are
yeah, but it's a 10-team, so it's kind of yeah, the dust for sure. And then I guess the 10-team aspect of it, you know, if you remove the 2 quarterbacks, it kind of cancels out. So you're probably looking at a more natural 203. Ayuk, the buzz has been, you know, the pup start, week 6 return is all the stuff you've been hearing. In a shallower 10-team league, are you trying to make the Ayuk return from injury bet, and you know you feel confident in a shallow league to hold on to that through the injury, or are you just taking the 203 and trying to take a shot at one of these, you know, receivers or risers?
It's hard for me because like Ayuk is just such a gross. He's like borderline like Michael Pittman type gross, where you're like.
I just took Michael
That
Pittman
being
to
said,
start up.
like
Let's
the
be
203 in a shallow 1 QB league. I probably just say I'll go with the Ayuk side just because I don't feel like I feel like I could probably, like, if it was a little bit better, like like the 201 or like the late first type pick, then it's like, sure, get off the ride. But in 1 QB super shallow league, I just feel like I know this guy at least has a role, and I can make the bet of, even if I don't believe in him, right when he comes back, all the hype, he's looking good in practice, all this stuff. Cool, I'll send him off then. Like I don't know if I would want to flip that and then end up with, I don't even know what you would end up with in a 1 QB league. I mean, you might use probably like a Besh or something like that.
Yeah, and I will say the 402 and 407, and I am not trying to flame the rest of my home league mates. I just had my rookie draft. And I mean, obviously you feel great about all your picks, but I will say that in, you know, some leagues, even in these single quarterbacks, you know, you're probably not getting the Bills of the world and, you know, all these massive risers, but the fourth round, you can still kind of take your shots. Right now you probably can't get Ollie Gordon, but you can take your bet on a different running back. Monungai's injured. You can, grab him and add that on top of the Ayuk injured bet.
Yeah, Brashard Smith.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's like the hype with Bill, whatever's Ja'Cory Crosskit, whatever.
Bill.
Nailed it. But yeah, but it's like him, right? Like when the hype like on a player goes like that, where all of a sudden everyone wants him. He has over 2,000. It's like 2,500 different trades in the past week, and all of them are like second. Some of them are first. It's like, what the hell is happening? Like this dude played in preseason. Like, let's not go crazy. But
with the
that's when you sell. That's when you sell on that type of player. And right now, we see people want the hype. Some of these other guys in the third, in the fourth, are going to catch that hype wave. We're just waiting for it. So I don't think those picks are nothing. It is just like a high, like a very high risk dart throw, though.
Yeah, for sure. And happy cut day. We didn't talk about it at the beginning, but some key cuts. I'm sure we'll hear some questions about the fallout from those. I think the biggest ones I can think of, obviously Deontay Johnson was a big one from the Browns. Pierre Strong, I know a lot of people similar also on the Browns are kind of pointing to maybe that's a good sign for the Judkins signing. I think Stefanski had said that we're not going to roll out with just 2 running backs on the roster, which is obvious, but I will say I wouldn't read too much into that specifically just because it's so, every single season running backs are just swapping teams from cut from the Niners, picked up by the Browns, etc. So even if it's not a Judkins signing, I'm sure there'll be some sort of addition.
Dang, Rocket Sanders got cut. I know there was like a 6th rounder.
Yeah, I know there was some buzz that
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, Hunter Renfrow as well. Yeah, Kenny Pickett traded to the Raiders. That one feels like a cut, but
they had too many quarterbacks. Someone had to go.
When you can't make the Browns,
it had to be Pickett. There's no way.
Yeah, if you're
Pickett
drafting
was definitely
the
weakest.
Yo,
you drafted 2 guys and you signed Joe Flacco.
Yo, what is up? Matthew McDonald, what is up? Spy Russ here. We've got this one out of a startup. 12-team, 1 quarterback, start 8. Wait, so I'm reading this as start 8. So the defense and kicker aren't included in that. I think it is start 8
plus defense and kicker.
Right, because I would not. That would be insane. Traded CD, Connor, Pittman, and 2 seconds for Hendo, Pickens, Addison, Jaden Higgins, and a 27 first. Ooh.
12-team, 1 QB, start 8.
I like Hendo a lot. I don't know, and I like Pickens too.
It all comes down to how you feel on Hendo. Like, is Henderson like not that far from CD?
Like, replace if Hendo was Hampton.
I would say CD is a different side. Like, I definitely would say the CD side's a lot here.
I think I want the CD side.
I do agree with Sean Ellis. Like, start 8's all about the hammers. I will say, just to help this guy sleep at night, it's not like you traded for like players that no one wants.
Yeah,
you could totally get a huge haul, especially Henderson. Henderson week 3, all of a sudden crushes it, and now it's like, okay, like his first 3 weeks, he's looking amazing. You're going to be able to get a massive haul for him if you do need to kind of recoup value, or you could just ride off in the sun with him. He might be the next Gibbs, and then you also get a first, so you have enough flexibility. But it's hard to say, hey, CD Connor's a sleeper, undervalued type of win now piece, and you give up 2 seconds. I would prefer to have
a mini
CD.
hammer for a year,
Yeah, I mean, Connor is like a discount hammer. He's the scratch and dent aisle.
I like that. And
that's Sean said it in fewer words than I did. It's not awful, but I definitely would lean the CD side.
Mm-hmm. But I agree, and I too. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to always close out these trades where I like the other side from the chatters with like, don't feel bad type of vibes. But I do think that like all of these players have move, right? Hendo, Pickens, Addison, Higgins currently all have value. You could move all these pieces, and you get the 27 first as well. But yeah, I'm probably taking the CD side just because I feel like it's most of these shallower leagues. That's where you're wanting to go. All right, here we go. Sports Pulse. What is up? Preferably want a 27 first for CMC in a rebuild. I do have an interesting offer though in a 12-team Superflex start 10 PPR. Send CMC a 26 second. It's early, and Will Howard for Addison a 28 first and a 27 second. Thoughts? Thanks, fellas. Yeah, I'm probably fine getting out. I hate that the 28 pick is, or the first is in 28. That's a little frustrating. And I probably would see if I could find a way to cancel out those seconds if you feel really good about that 26 one being an early one. But outside of that, if you somewhat cancel out the seconds and it's CMC for Addison and a 28 first, I think that's a good rebuild get out of CMC price.
Yeah, I think that's one of those deals where, and ideally you could, like you said, drop that second. That could be early. But it's one of those things where it's like when you are in a rebuild, you might not get all the pieces you want, but as long as you are getting some sort of value, a 28 first, even though that's, I don't know what fantasy football will look like by then, but you at least have a piece of that. You got some high schooler right now. And then you also get an Addison, which is, he'll be suspended a little bit, but his value certainly can rise. If I'm purely rebuild, like you said, it's hard to pass up that much value for essentially just CMC.
Yeah, too. And I that's the thing too. I mean, we talk about all the time, for the past like month and a half, 3-4 months we've been doing these streams. We've talked about, guys, we're in June, we're in July. I mean, now we're at the end of August, heading into point scoring season. And if you're a rebuilder and you've got CMC on the roster, like now is the time that you are like finding the teams that will give you firsts plus young receivers. And so I think this is a great cash out. What is up? Birds, builds. Birds, how we feeling about the Charlie League team you got going on right now? Gonna be fully transparent. I don't have all the teams locked on tab yet. I use Dynasty Daddy to help me do that post draft. But let me know. Let me know how you're feeling. All right, San Francisco Nation here. In a vacuum, what's a package I could trade Hunter, a second, and Judkins for? I'm a contender. Ooh. I mean, hopefully the Judkins aspect is kind of tough, and I wonder if I would hold off on trying to trade Judkins until right before the season. Not necessarily that I think he's going to sign and week one going to get 18 carries. It's more from the perspective of I think that because of the Browns releasing Pierre Strong, there's like that slimmer of hope. Glimmer? There's a slimmer glimmer.
There's a
slim glimmer of hope that we do get the Browns and Judkins because of the case being dropped and, the Pierre Strong being dropped, that he signs the contract and starts practicing. And then I think you get a better price for Judkins as a contender to a rebuilder that's like, a young running back that is going to play in the NFL this season.
I mean, just look at the Hendrickson situation at the Bengals. You might be like, what the hell, Jeremy, are you talking about? That situation looks so bad. Everyone's like, this is heading towards a breakup. This organization's cheap. Hendrickson wants out. And they figured it out. I think we get used to watching the NBA and like all these trades, like a player requests a trade and then they get the trade. I think we're going to wake up in a month and Judkins will be signed and he'll be doing what essentially he was expected to be doing, when they drafted him. I wouldn't freak out about that. Hunter's always like a mental roller coaster for me of like, he could be good. He could be nothing.
You have to find a manager that believes in Hunter. You got to find the will in your league that's willing to pay.
You got to get the will,
legit contender prices.
Or just start talking about Ohtani and then be like, oh, actually.
You hear about this?
And then I got to remember, wait a minute. Hunter doesn't get points for half the plays he plays.
Yeah. In a vacuum,
that will definitely be interesting. I
mean, you're adding a second. I mean, this is a pretty nice package for like a rebuilding team that has a somewhat elite older receiver. Like, would you target like an AJ Brown with? I feel like that is kind of the because I don't know.
That's easy. You should definitely be able to get AJ Brown.
Yeah, I just don't know if you get much higher than that. I think once you're starting to push into like the London and ahead area where the receivers are young enough, I don't see a team like willing to do the Hunter
do a
pivot.
Nico Collins.
I try that. I think Nico is.
I feel
one
like
of those
you could
elite.
get Nico.
Yeah, some people might have
I feel like once you get to
wrongfully have
London,
Hunter ahead of Nico.
Puka, Amon-Ra,
Yeah, I would try Nico
like
for sure.
once you get to that phase, I feel like it's harder.
You might be able to get, I mean, if the AJ, I mean, obviously this is tough to do because this is from the perspective of like the AJ Brown could just be on another contender that's like, hell no, I'm not giving you AJ Brown off my team. Like, I'm going to win this year. But if you can find like AJ Brown, Nico, one of these teams, you might even be able to get, I mean, probably AJ Brown more than Nico, but get, you know, a James Conner and AJ Brown back for this Hunter second and Judkins. Like, that is kind of the move that we would get from a team in this chat that's like rebuilder. Like, my team's terrible, but I have AJ Brown and James Conner. Should I take this deal? And we're like, yeah, dude, you're getting a Hunter and a pick and Judkins, who like doesn't matter if he scores points for you this season. So I would definitely try to do that. Go to Dynasty Daddy, filter starter rank, check out the receivers, get back to us.
There's a pro tip. We could write a guide for that.
Season 4. Here we go. All right, I need you to be ready for this one. Got jammed.
Okay.
Also, what's up, Ray Roo? Got jammed with Garrett Wilson. It's my wide receiver 1 in a home league. Tell me it's not over. Here's what I'll say. If Garrett Wilson is the reason, is the jammed wide receiver 1, and because you started like wide receiver, elite tight end or something, or you went, running back, elite tight end, or, you know, running back, elite quarterback, then Garrett Wilson, you're not cooked. But you might be cooked. Or he just might get 1,000 targets this year, 1,000 inefficient
Garrett
targets.
Wilson, I felt like not that I was like ahead of the curve, but I feel like a month ago, everyone was like, oh, Garrett Wilson, like DJ Moore with Fields. And then I think everyone saw Justin Fields in the preseason and like, oh, it's Justin Fields. And I think that's starting to dawn on people, kind of the reality that Garrett Wilson is, you know, that super expensive car that you always have to take back into the shop because it doesn't really work how it was advertised. I don't think it's terrible. Like,
yeah,
Garrett Wilson still does have that upside, but it's slim that he actually hits true elite wide receiver 1 numbers. What it does make me think though is you probably have a good range of depth. If Garrett Wilson is your wide receiver 1, you probably have a bunch of other like Addisons or players like that, to where you can kind of mix and match different matchups, and Garrett Wilson's still a decent trade piece. I think that's something I would be looking to do is like, can I add to Garrett Wilson to get up to a player I feel more confident in?
Yeah, this is not too bad. Gibbs, McBride, Wilson, 14 by 10 doesn't feel great. I mean, that's a deep redraft league. Like, I don't think you should feel terrible about that. Yeah, you got elite tight end, you got the running back. Ray Roo, you know what to do. You hit the Igbukas. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where George Pickens is going on some of these home sites, but
Luther Burden.
Yeah, that's what the Garrett Wilson drafters need to do. Just count on Luther Burden this season.
Yeah, hit all those guys.
Dude, I will say I was in the redraft. Whenever I'm in the redraft streets, let me know if you guys in the chat feel the same. I start drafting all these rookies late. Like, I went like Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, and like Jaden Higgins, Dylan Sampson, all back to back, 4 picks. And I felt so great about it. I was like, oh, this upside, you know? And then I was like, am I just dynasty brained? Like, am I just going to get cooked by these people taking Keenan Allen in the 9th round?
I definitely do get dynasty brained where I'm like, I'll be like, oh, well, like, why would someone take this player over this player? And I'm like, wait, like Devontae Adams is probably going to crush. Like, that's why he's going over, you know, this random young guy.
Yeah, I do think that there is, and this is a little, you know, maybe we're doing a little redraft tip. You know, we're entering the redraft season, right? The final week and a half before season kicks off. But I do think that you still want to do that. Like, yes, it is redraft, but a lot of these redraft leagues, your benches are just, they don't really matter in terms of your starting lineup. Like, the leagues are really shallow. You really only need to have 1 or 2 plus through the flex of the starters. So you want to take those. You know, this could be Bucky. You want to take the Colston Loveland. This could be, you know, a top 10 tight end. Just goes crazy this year. Like, those are the upside bets you want to make versus let me get Hunter Henry with my David and Njoku. It's like, okay, well, like, what are we doing there? Like, what's the upside there?
Yeah, no, I always do the strategy of I just never take a quarterback or a tight end and just like, and everyone's like, dude, what, like, are you okay? You know, you need a tight end. And I'm like, yeah, there's 10 people in this league. Like, I'll be all right.
Will, are you a Michigan or Michigan State type of guy? I hate this
Uh-oh.
question this is a great question to ask a Lions fan. Lions pillow in the background. It's got the Lions shirt on.
He's actually Ohio
The
State.
confession is that Will loves college football and basketball in its entirety, but like never really felt too tied to like go blue, go green, go white. So I kind of don't tell anybody. I kind of root for both. It just makes college football more fun.
That's like a Scott Hansen. I cheer for every team.
What's the what was that actor? Oh man.
It's Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe.
It is Rob Lowe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dang, banger reference grab, Jeremy. Good work. We're hitting on all points tonight. I was a little tired. Oh, that was great. I lobbed it out of bounds and you grabbed it and slammed it. Beautiful.
I would say the Dwayne Wade. The Dwayne Wade just to lob it up.
All right, AJ Lee here. Need RB help in a 12-team Superflex PPR best ball. Thinking about offering Ladd for Bucky and Deontay Thornton or Ollie Gordon. Okay, so this is Ladd for Bucky, and then you're adding on either Thornton or Ollie Gordon. AJ Lee, can you tell me what the RB room looks like? Because I'm a Bucky guy, and I will trade Bucky for Ladd. So I would like to hear how rough the RB room is. You got Ollie Gordon, bro. Maybe the RB room isn't so bad in best ball. Dolphins RB2? Come on. I would just let me hear what the rest of the running back room looks like and how many running backs could start. So like how many starters it is. Here we go. Rob.
Yeah, and I'm much more inclined to take like a Dante Thornton type player in a best ball league.
Yeah.
Because like Ollie Gordon could get you zeros if, A-Chain's back or get you like 4 points.
Yeah.
So I do feel like getting the Bucky upside plus kind of a optimistic upside type of wide receiver for best ball. I'm not the best ball guru by any means, but that's probably a trade I'd be open to doing.
Sorry, I got kind of stun locked pre-reading this one from Connor here. Also follow up life advice. I met my girlfriend's parents this weekend and I shared that I'm a standing wiper and he thinks less of me now. How did this did this come up in conversation? Was this just a drop?
This was after watching Puck.
Yeah. You're watching Puck. Yeah, you leave the bathroom, let him know. Yeah, follow up, let us know, Connor. Birds Builds here. I'm feeling the struggle of trading for the 201. But I'm feeling it. Yeah, it was a very interesting startup. I don't know if we'll get to it tonight to kind of recap some of these Dynasty Daddy leagues. Maybe if the chats cool down and we're not pushing 2.5, 3 hours, we'll take a glance over at them. So Will can yap about the moves he regrets, the trades. I think the Charlie League is the one I feel the worst about. Probably because I took Garrett Wilson. But we can talk about that later.
It's just it's like the cheese touch and Darren DK. It's like you got the Garrett Wilson touch.
I tried that exact package for Nico. He said no. Yeah, it's tough. You do kind of have to find, like, Travis Hunter is tough because you do have to find the believers. Travis Hunter went at the 107 in my home league rookie draft that just happened, and I was trying, like, very hard to trade up. People get wary of me, and I get it. Doing the whole like Dynasty Daddy content guy. I'm on the live streams. They're not buying it.
You got target on your back.
I did get one home league trade done. I'll bring it up later in the rookie draft. Shout out to Alex. He's the only one that will trade with me. So we'll revisit that later. We'll do Will talks about his own leagues for a minute. Nick, take Jake.
What's the package for Nico question? That was about the Judkins.
Yeah,
Hunter,
Judkins,
right?
Hunter in a second. Yeah.
How low would you go?
That's a good package, man. That is a good. I love Nico. I think it's a good package, but I'm also a Travis Hunter guy. So
would you go down to what, like Ladd?
I mean, I understand it's a competing team, but I mean, don't you kind of want to see what Travis Hunter looks like before you do that?
I feel like when Ladd, JSN, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson.
I'm just too high on Travis Hunter.
Any of those guys who would send that package for?
Somebody else needs to answer this question because in Will's brain,
Travis Hunter could be
outscoring those guys week one. which is probably more of
You
a
got the rose-colored glasses.
30% bet than a 50% bet that I'm making in my mind. But man, guys, he was pretty good in college, and I've been liking the bets.
I will say I kind of agree. I feel like to me the drop off after Nico, I'm just I'm just willing to see what happens with all those pieces and be like, let me ship off Judkins, which was a mid to late first round pick, Hunter, who was a mid to early first round pick, and a second round pick for one wide receiver. And if the guys I'm looking at are like Garrett Wilson, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'll take, because then on Dynasty Daddy trade values, Travis Hunter is or overall 48, wide receiver 16, and Garrett Wilson is wide receiver 14, and what's like Nico's wide receiver 9.
Yeah,
but I'm like, I'm not going to pay a massive premium on top of Hunter to move up from 48th overall to like 39th overall. Like to me, I'm like, might as well just.
And I get the Judkins fear. I totally understand, but I do think that we are kind of approaching the other end of that, where it doesn't feel like we're hitting he is like going to go through the whole court shenanigans. Like now we are into the NFL investigation stuff, which like is still probably going to be some sort of suspension, commissioner's exempt list for like a period of time. But it feels like we're on the brighter side of that outcome for him specifically. And I don't want people to forget about an early second round running back being a part of that trade. Like that, I get trying to go up and increase your point total, but there's a chance come week 7, you're like, dang, I wish I had Hunter and Judkins right now and a second round pick, But I could see myself doing it for Nico because I'm such a Nico guy.
I think Nico is a different, it's a locked in thing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Nick Take Jake here. I sent Andrews likely and a 26 first for Kittle today. Cooked or am cooked? Yeah, that's pretty tough for me. And I like Kittle.
Ooh, that's deep. Yeah.
I think it's just the man. If it's a second, are you doing that? Andrews likely and a second for Kittle.
I probably would. Like if I'm a contender and I'm like, I don't want to deal with this revolving door of like who should I start, locking Kittle.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, man. Kittle just got that extension.
First is a big bullet to blow.
First is a big bullet to blow, and I get like the vibes around Andrews not being great because it's like the end of last season, and like you look at how many touchdowns he scored versus his actual receiving production. But man, like I still say what you will about the Ravens passing offense in terms of like consistency for Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews and everything, but it is still every year going to produce elite touchdown scorers, and I feel like I feel fine about Mark Andrews kind of slotting it for the time he's there. But this can't be true. Philly Mike OG. More than you would be freaking out about this. But I appreciate.
I was pulling it up. I was like,
I'm trying to read this.
Philly Mike.
I'm seeing if I would fall for it. Wow. I think the wow 5 exclamation points is
the wow and then the posted on Z.
I like the at Adam Schefter. Like he's in the chat or something. He's about to be like, "Yep, just said it." Actually, we're gonna have somebody create an Adam Schefter account and post that.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
All right, so should I trade Fields for an early mid 26 second league superflex with bonus for rushing? I feel like I should hold out for a first. Yeah, I mean, if there's bonus, like some sort of PPC or anything tied to Fields, like he's the perfect contender year back quarterback. Like I feel like I would hold Fields for a second if I was planning on starting him for that year and I was contending.
Fields is definitely worth a first.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear it, but like you can definitely get a first for Fields. I had Fields on some teams last year, and I was able to get a first for him when he was on the Steelers. So this situation is much better than the Steelers. Dare I say, the Jets situation is better just because he has a 2-year contract. He actually has some stability. Yeah, you could. I would hold once he has like 2 good weeks, and you just say, hey, send it out for any late first.
Yeah. All right, Marcus here. I'm going to throw this over to you, Jeremy. What's the difference between Dynasty Daddy and ADP Daddy for value?
Yeah. So ADP Daddy is we've had that for a year and a half now, I think.
Yeah, and
Basically, what
I'll
it
toss
is.
it over to the screen for you. We'll pull up the
Oh,
player rankings tab. Is that where you want me to be, Jeremy?
yeah.
You call the shots. I'm just clicking the buttons.
Yeah, no, that works. ADP Daddy is based on drafts, hence the ADP aspect. So it's all the draft picks, and it basically updates every day and builds trade values off of all the drafts that we have. And our database has currently 365K real drafts, and that's about 57 million draft picks that are funneled into this thing. And then Dynasty Daddy, the official Dynasty Daddy trade values are a level on top of that, where we factor in the trade database. So the 3.6 million trades that we have in our database, we kind of mesh them together. So we build trade values based on trades, and then we sprinkle in some draft ADP trade values. So during the offseason, when there's not as many trades, drafts are more important. And then during the season, when there's a bunch of trades going on, we put more of a weight on that, because who gives a crap if your draft happened 4 months ago? That doesn't really reflect a player's value right now. And the Dynasty Daddy values update every 2 hours. So keeps it coming back.
Sorry, I was playing with the massively large Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt bubble on the trade database.
Oh no,
page. That thing is crazy.
I know it's the most I've ever seen. I think it hit like 2,600. I think that was the peak.
I guess we did a little bit of the Bill conversation last week. We're seeing him go. I think at like fair prices in the startups that we're doing right now in the Dynasty leagues. I think it's around like the 11th, 12th round we've seen him go.
Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's a totally fine like bet for him. But I'm sure a lot of startups he's pushing closer to that 9th, 10th around running backs that you're expecting to like produce well for the season, like the Tony Pollards of the worlds and everything. It's an interesting conversation. We've seen some teams kind of moneyball the running back position, right? Where, Dallas, Dallas is probably not the best.
Dallas is the perfect
Dallas
example.
is an example. I don't know if it's the best example for that being like successful. We'll see how the season goes. But I mean, even going, last season, I think is a good example for Dallas, right? They have Zeke. Fine. We'll have Tony Pollard be the guy. Tony Pollard, you can walk. Rico Dowdle's going to be the guy. Rico, you can walk. We're going to have Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. So I think sometimes people fall into the trap of RB1, and we want to think about it in terms of 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, where the RB1 was getting, 18 to 20 carries a game across every single team. And I think that's not just the way that teams want to handle the position if they have a couple decent running backs. And I think Chris Rodriguez is better than most people do. I think Austin Eckler still has some juice in the tank for his role. I don't think it's necessarily going to be like a 10, 12, 13 carry thing, but, in the receiving game. And, we did the Jeremy McNeil's thing last week. We don't need to do that much more. But I just want to talk about it. I saw how big this ball was. And I was like, the people are seeing
some of them are wild, man.
Wait, should we just pull this up real quick?
26 first-round pick or JCM?
Firsts. We got first going for JCM,
There's multiple first. I saw one that was I actually really liked. I thought it was an interesting conversation.
Okay.
A Superflex 12-team start 10, full PPR.
Yeah.
JCM and a 26 first or Chase Brown.
Ooh. I think depending on my team build, I'd probably take the Bill in the first side. And I love Chase Brown.
I feel like that's pretty good.
That's a fair trade. That is fair.
Again,
I like
a 12-team start 10. I saw one that was like
Johnny
also similar to that, but Bucky.
Interesting. Ollie Gordon
a lot of first.
for Bill in a third is very interesting. This is, what this is? This
Ollie
is
has
like
some hype.
No, this is the H-hand manager. He does, but this is also the H-hand manager who is shaking in his boots and is too afraid
he's like
to not
out.
have the handcuff. Don't be worried about your handcuffs, guys.
I will say,
okay.
I will say Ollie Gordon, RB32 on Dynasty Daddy, and JCM is RB35.
Okay, all right. Sorry, we can
Even
move
though all
on.
the trades are there, people are still hyping up the Ollie Gordon train.
Interesting. That was cool to take a look at. Let us know. You guys had any JCM build trades go down in your leagues? Let us know. He went I think he still went in the third. No, late, I think late second. Mid-late second is where he went in our rookie draft. All right.
You had a rookie draft recently?
I did. I did not have any first round picks and unfortunately could not trade up to get Hunter or Igbuka, which was very sad.
Oh, I knew you were trying.
I was trying, but man, like I said, I think I had a couple early fleeces. Like I definitely was the more experienced dynasty manager in the league. Like it's a lot of home league guys, and we transferred our redraft league and turned it into a dynasty startup a couple years ago. And I had one like second round pick for Isaiah McKenzie trade that everyone was pissed about because like people didn't really understand the value of picks after he had a good week or something. And I think that just was a net negative. Do not recommend trying to fleece for second round picks. It will banish you from good trade conversations for some time. All right, we'll talk about me more later. You know, Will's always down to talk about himself. Matt saw here being offered Benson, Shador, 2 firsts for 2027, so 2 2027 firsts, a second for 26 and 27. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down in a place I can understand. 2 27 firsts and 2 seconds, 1 in 6, 1 in 26, 1 in 27.
Yeah, 2 firsts,
and Shador and Benson for Gibbs and Thornton. So I mean, 2 firsts and 2 seconds for Gibbs and Thornton.
We know the format or anything?
I don't know if we know, Matt. If you're in the chat, Matt in the chat, let us know the format. But I mean, in a vacuum, 2 firsts and 2 seconds, I think is for sure going rate for Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those ones where it's like, oh, how would you ever, are you actually ever going to be able to get that type of value for that player? You know, it's kind of like Josh Allen or whatever. It's like, am I ever going to be able to sell Josh Allen for that price?
Yeah.
I think this is a good deal if you're like, hey, I do want to move off of Gibbs. You're selling high. I don't think you're getting much more than two firsts, 2 seconds, and cool, you get Benson. I don't know about how much we're believing in Shador, but Benson's not a nothing. So I think it's decent value. I'm curious what some trades are for Gibbs now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm thinking in terms of I haven't seen Gibbs go for like just 2 straight
Barkley
firsts.
In a first.
I feel like it's usually something like that is like a good player plus a first, where someone's willing to do the pivot off a running back for either a wide receiver in a first that's older or something, or like that Barkley in a first trade, older productive running back. But hey guys, no Lions fan bias. I am happily sending my 2 firsts, 2 seconds, an interesting player I don't care about for one Jahmyr, best running back in the league. Gibbs.
I feel like this one might pull at your heartstrings for Gibbs. A Jahmyr Gibbs in a 12 team. Oh, hold on. I changed my screen. Hold on. It's a suspense.
Oh gosh.
A 12 team, start 11, half PPR, 0.5 tight end premium. So somewhat deep league for Ricky Pearsall, a 26 first, and Travis Hunter.
It's almost pulling at the strings.
It's close. Maybe one day we'll get the Lions fan to trade Gibbs.
I took Gibbs in 2 of the startups, and honestly, it's more of I just am not an elite running back guy in the way I build my teams. I just think like what you have to invest into that to build out your teams in a way. But man, depending on my team, if I am like a little sketched and asset poor and willing to kind of do the, maybe not, I'm tanking, but I don't feel like my team is strong enough to compete. Let me get Hunter and a first. I could see myself doing that. And you get Pearsall too. That is a pretty good deal. Yeah, I think it unfortunately is the Hunter Pearsall on the first side. But this is an imaginary trade, guys. I don't have to make this in my Gibbs leagues.
Ooh.
Send me similar offers to these. And this is Ray, you're the hunter guy with me. Yeah, we're locking hands on this. I don't know if I can do this one. Travis Huntami.
I'll leave that to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to slowly get less in on Travis Hunter seeing these messages.
It's like it's like when the taxi driver starts talking to you about stocks, and you're like, okay, now it's officially a bubble when everyone's starting to talk about Travis Hunter.
No, I mean, I think the Gibbs thing for me too, and I mean, obviously we all know the projection for the season, but like to put it in context, like I know we're seeing it and feeling it in our redraft leagues. I mean, Gibbs is going like 101, 102, right next to Jamar Chase, and I want to start running back. I'm taking a lot of Gibbs early in the first. Like this is a 23-year-old elite running back. Yeah, I just but I think that's a fair package. All right, Ray Rue woke up today. Oh, Ray, you're going to make me check my exposures, and I'm going to be a little sketched out. I have 90% exposure to Rashid Shaheed across all my redraft and dynasty leagues, and I'm cooked?
That's
or is this
insane.
an am I cooked? So is this in response to the Vele signing or the
Cooked
Radler?
Or am I cooked?
And Downs. Hey, I kind of like I'm not too worried about the Downs, Get the Daniel Jones
Downs
starting
isn't bad.
quarterback.
I don't think the Downs is bad.
You got the one check mark. I do think that my one thing with Downs, and I've been taking Downs and Pittman, I think they're pretty cheap in dynasty startups compared to what their upside could be and what they've shown in their career so far. But man, Jelani Woods released, Tyler Warren looking decent, playing all the snaps with the starters. Like we're getting at least the. Here's my thing. It is kind of wheels up, but for me, it's more of the let's check these boxes of. Like, you feel good about the situation. You got the Daniel Jones starting quarterback, playing snaps with the starters. And Connor, as a follow-up, he asked me what way I put the toilet paper, so I thought it was a natural transition. That is fair. I'm a sit-down when I pee guy. There, I'll give you that, Connor.
Tough. My exposure and wide receivers to toilet paper.
To Garrett Wilson. I feel the Garrett Wilson touch today. I think those are all a little bit related.
Yeah, the Garrett Wilson touch.
You feel worse about Charlie because he took my spot in the draft. Yeah, we'll see. Sharb, Scadaboo, Tootin, Jalen Wright, Jerome Ford is the rest of my room. It's a start, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 3 flex. So this is the best ball that we were talking about, trading away Ladd for Bucky and Thornton. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably doing that then, given that. I mean, what are you rolling out? Like, these all might be zeros week 1 at running back.
Would you go after... I mean, Ladd Bucky is probably the closest adjacent wide receiver running back you could do. I feel like Ladd is getting a little unfairly value depressed from the Keenan Allen signing, which I get. But, yeah, I could see myself doing that. And getting 2 bets is nice, too. It is best ball. Like, you do have to think about it in a different context in terms of you're getting 2 players. Yeah, we didn't talk about it. How you feel about your Jacoby, your Jacoby boy with the you're requesting a trade stuff? I mean, we see this all the time with receivers in terms of like how they feel about their current contracts and situation and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, a little funky. And Amari Cooper to the Raiders, 1 year, 3-something million. Interesting. I have a feeling it's going to feel a little bit like Bills Amari Cooper, unfortunately, for all my Amari Cooper bags in my dynasty leagues.
Yeah. The Cooper fall off definitely hurts, but I mean, I think I'm a little surprised. I thought Myers got the extension last year, if I recall, but I think he's a talent. He's been talented on multiple teams. So if he does go somewhere, I just hope he goes somewhere where it isn't crowded or has like a million slot receivers. Because I mean, it's a new situation. The usage that Jacoby Myers may have in the new Pete Carroll offense, Chip Kelly offense, might not align with what he wants to be doing. AKA, he might not be as good as a fantasy player next year. So, if he's kind of like, hey, I'm the odd man out here. This isn't the people that picked me originally. I could see him saying, let me just go somewhere else.
Yeah. All right, Ben here. Swift for Calvin Ridley and JCM. Yeah, I like that. I'm taking the
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Ridley Bill side.
Because like here's a some Thanksgiving math. If you have DeAndre Swift, JCM is like 60% of the DeAndre Swift pie. And then on top of that, you have Calvin Ridley, who Calvin Ridley's wide receiver 1 for the Titans. So he does have some upside. So I feel like that's a pretty decent way to split a player that's kind of meh.
Yeah, and I think Ward has looked decent this preseason. And I want everyone to remember what we are comparing Calvin Ridley's current situation to his last year's situation. Now, wide receiver room, I will say Io Manor. I think has looked good in the preseason as well. But yeah, I am excited about Ridley this year. All right, if Fields is worth a first, that means Garrett Wilson will cook, right? Crying in the club. Yeah, I think the Fields worth a first thing has a little bit more to do with the lower half of his body than the upper half. And I'll leave it at that. That sounded kind of weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I meant running.
Maybe he could throw with his feet.
Yeah, we'll see. little football. All right, sitting wiper is the best.
Will, what do you think about this one?
All right, you go ahead. That was probably as much time as we should. No, that was as much time as we should have devoted to that. You can pull me into something else.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Could you read this one off for me?
Is this the sitting wiper?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
No, you're good. You're good.
We can move on.
Kenneth Walker or Keon Coleman? We push past it.
Okay, here we go. Now it's been unlocked. Will can talk about his trade that he made in his rookie draft for Kenneth Walker. I will say I've been liking the Keon buzz that I've been hearing, but I think I'm still taking Ken Walker. I know people get sketched out about the running back injury stuff, but to me, when he's healthy, and I feel good about this Kubiak scheme stuff, in terms of success we've seen at the running back position for other teams. So for me, Walker, I'll let you answer, and then I'll tell you the draft deal, and then we'll move on to the next question. You can give me a
I don't know. Will, you're going auto-tune for me right now. I still feel like it's an interesting problem of having 8 RBs on your team. That to me is so like if you're pretty stacked, you're probably like, okay, I do need to move it off. Realistically, though, I feel like I could go a little bit higher with a Kenneth Walker type player than a Keon Coleman, or at least get like a kickback, like a second or something. Maybe I'm higher on Kenneth Walker than others, but Keon Coleman to me is if he does hit, it's going to be a slow burn as he kind of develops because he came in really raw, really young. So to me, I'd still take the Kenneth Walker side.
Okay, beep boop, beep. Am I sounding better?
He's back, better than ever.
All right, I was worried. All right, here we go. Will rookie draft trade. I am on the clock at the 207, and who is there but one Bayshal Tootin, and me and another guy who love making the fourth round rookie upside running back bets. He says, what do you want for this pick? And the offer ends up being my 12 by 9 Superflex redraft, no tenant premium. Not really relevant to the trade, but wanted to put it out there. David Montgomery. I'm trading away David Montgomery, the 207 pick for him to take Tootin, and Darnell Mooney for Kenneth Walker, the 12 by 9. I think it's fairly even. I think in a shallow league, oh dang, he's not gonna like that. Good thing he doesn't listen back to these streams, because he sent me a message after, and he was like, dude, I didn't know that Darnell Mooney was gonna be out for half the year, and I was like, I don't think it's been confirmed. I think he's just like recovering from the injury or something, and maybe gonna be ready for week 1. But
yeah, whenever Will sends me a trade, I have to make sure that none of them got injured for the season.
I had to pull the Anthony Richardson trade. I work quickly on the other side.
That's true.
When I'm fleecing myself.
That one. I'll send that one back to you. Hey,
if you want to send me an updated one where I'm still getting Travis Hunter, I will listen to it. I promise. All right.
I may need that quarterback now.
Oh, interesting. So the context for Hector here on the Ken Walker for Keon Coleman is I have like 8 other running backs on my team. I'm stacked. It's a super flex. I think it's start 10. So with a stacked, here's the thing. I would just be then keeping Kenneth Walker. And I know it's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to just take your best running back or the most interesting one for people if you are actually stacked to the position, and Kenneth Walker is one of those bets you're going to make, and you move the one that has the highest value for a different receiver.
Will?
Yes, sir.
We got a little bit of an emergency here.
Oh.
Chester DFS is saying, Will sounds so sexy.
Oh.
Let me hear those pipes. Still sounds like a robot.
Okay, am I still am I robot-y to you? Beep,
Not to me. To me, you're good. We'll have to.
Wait, if I sound like a
monitor
robot,
this.
here's what I'll do, real quick.
Uh-oh.
It was a funny idea in my brain, and then I thought about the execution of it, and it was less funny, but I'm still gonna do it because I said it. I was gonna do the Daft Punk doing it right. That's kind of got like a little like robot-y doing it right. Everybody will be dancing and be doing it right. Everybody will be like, if my voice actually is robot, that might sound fire.
Clip that.
If it's not robot, it is less fire, more embarrassing, but that's what we're here for. Ooh, dab a doobie?
Okay, I think. Oh.
McMillan or Hunter in redrafts? I am a Hunter guy, but I like both of these guys. I mean, Hunter going higher than, or Ted going Hunter or higher. Tetaroa McMillan is going higher than Travis Hunter in best ball drafts and redraft drafts as well. And yeah, I mean, as the resident Panthers fan, how you feeling about the McMillan vibes? No Hunter Renfrow on the to fight against target competition.
I think that's more of a Coker / Spielin type of statement.
Stand up.
But I kind of like Tet. I kind of like him. He's growing on me, and I feel like he plays a very different role than the rest of the Panthers receivers, and also puts Leggett also in a role that fits him more. It's kind of that yak receiver versus where they were using him a lot on deep routes and things like that aren't really his specialty.
Yeah.
So for me, I get a glimmer of hope. This might be the Panthers bias in me.
I'm kind of a Bryce believer.
I get a glimmer of hope of I'm like, this might work. Like, this might be Drake London, Amazon Basics version, and I'll take it. Take it. I don't need the one with the 30% target share, but 21% target share, sure. I do think he has the real upside of dominating everything, and you also don't have to worry about, okay, what if he's really good on defense too? Like, you don't have that question kind of hovering over you.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say the answer to this question is both. Book it. Ooh, here we go. Chester. I'm buying all the Judkins I can. Been getting him in good values in, I assume this is best ball drafts. He's going super late. I mean, he's going like 1 or 2 rounds apart from Dylan Sampson, which is, I mean, obviously it is literally best ball. You're making your player bet on the situation. But yeah, I mean, the 0 hurts less, and it probably won't be a full on 0, but definitely could be still. Traded Gibbs for Judkins in 2 seconds the other day. Nah, we jumped the shark.
Hey, line fan, how are we feeling about that?
Can't be greedy, I don't believe this. Chester, you're pulling my leg. I usually don't like to say that to people in the chat if I think a trade is really bad.
You're calling them out. I'm
saying this is so bad, you're making it up. But it's probably not. Like, if it was Henderson in 2 seconds, they went in similar ranges in the draft, it's probably not enough for me to be mean to you. So I do apologize for that. But let me know if it is the truth. Any chance you guys are familiar?
Wait till the chat roast episode. That's going to be a good one.
Yeah. Any chance you guys are familiar with Devi? Dynasty, not sure how to value Devi draft picks versus rookie picks in terms of trying to acquire the Devi picks. Any input helps. I do not play. I want to start playing in some Devi leagues. My college football like prospect experience stuff is a lot more on like incoming draft class. I will then at that point kind of go back through like their entire college like profile and career, but I'm not really like super keeping up with who I expect to be a first round pick in 2-3 years or whatever when they're going to declare. But I will say the only thing that I can add is you really want to understand exactly all the parameters, which I think is kind of obvious, but I think it's like the one thing of value I can add is really understand how Devy picks work in terms of rookie drafts with the Devy depleted aspect, how many like Devy players can be picked and held for each team, like how deep that draft is and what it will do. And, maybe if you're joining a Devy league late or something, or you're taking over an orphan, if you can look back at previous Devy drafts, like try to ask if you can get those. I know a lot of times those are done outside of Sleeper. So I would ask for, the commish to kind of send you the previous Devy drafts and rookie drafts for those seasons as well, just to get a little better picture of what that all look like. You got any Devy tips?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and this is interesting because it's around draft picks, and I still think a draft pick is way, like, even in the Devy context, it's still valuable. It doesn't hold the same weight because it's like that the story I said the other time with your grandparents give you a bond that you can't cash for $50 until you're 35 or whatever. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, I have this pick, I can't use it until this player actually comes into the NFL. But for me, it's once you actually have to end up taking a player with that pick, then it kind of becomes like a rookie running back that has upside. Like, he's like a Blake Corum. And to me, it's most players, like, it's about staying in line with how is their actual NFL draft stock going to be. Because if I'm holding on to a random dude and he had a couple good games and I could sell him, but I have to wait 2 years and he's probably like a 3rd round wide receiver, goodbye. I'm not going to take that risk. There's very few guys I'm going to really hold on to on a Devy roster outside of like the blue chips, like Arch Mannings or some, players like Quinn Ewers. If you held on to him too long, by the time he actually hit the NFL and is usable, you're like, crap. Like, this is like a 6th, 7th round quarterback. So to me, it's like you got to really just kind of sell. It's like speculative. You just need to sell on all the hype. Any cash out you can get on Devy players for 90% of them is probably worth it. Like, outside of the Jeremiah Smith type, locked in, this guy's amazing.
Brian Williams, yeah.
You're not gonna. It's hard to know if they actually pan out.
Yeah. Mr. B, what's the move on Rattler now that he's named the starter? His value hasn't seemed to rise at all. I have Mahomes, Burrow, both with week 10 buys. Don't want to hold Rattler for that. I think you answered your own question with that second sentence or that last sentence there.
But it's like it's the rubber duck challenge where it's like, whenever you have a question, just talk to a rubber duck and you might answer your own question.
Yeah, because the first part, what's the move now that he's named the starter? His value doesn't seem to rise at all, and then you end with, I don't want to hold Rattler for the one situation that somebody would want to have Rattler for. And it's just, I mean,
Here's the deal with Rattler.
It's the upside. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is the worst time to have a Rattler type player, because what are the odds that by week 10 Rattler is actually starting? That's like a decent amount into the season. There's a lot of things that can happen. Rattler could be bad and they could be 0-5 and they're like, well, let's just see what Shuck has. Like,
he has to kind of hit that parlay.
And no one has injuries or buys. No one has injuries or buys yet. So you're sitting here with a quarterback that doesn't have a long shelf life, most likely. Everyone else knows doesn't have a long shelf life, likely. And no one needs a quarterback because everyone is healthy. Everyone just had picks. There's no buys. So it's one of those things where it's like, if I can flip him for anything, I would. Like a gross RB2 handcuff, a third, a fourth, right? Because you're not going to be able to get that price, and that price isn't going to go up a ton because the demand for a quarterback in that range is just super low right now. Because week 1 comes by and 32 quarterbacks play.
I know, and it's tough because you would even have to, like, I'm trying to find a way to solve your problem, Mr. B, and tell you, go to the Aaron Rodgers owner who, is going to have him for one season. Go to the Daniel Jones who, is in a similar situation, but we've seen Daniel Jones be more fantasy productive in his career. But I feel like you're going to have to add on to Rattler to get those guys from those teams because they're probably making the same bet you are that this is my QB3, like if all hell breaks loose or bye weeks and everything. So, yeah, that is tough. But I think getting anything
for Anthony Richardson.
Oof. Yeah, I mean, I would try. We'll see. Yeah, and that's, I mean, you talked about it. I don't have to go back through it. He does have to hit the parlay of a Saints team that everyone's expecting to be terrible. He has to win and play good, because the minute they're out of the playoffs, they're going to take a look at the second round quarterback that they just drafted. I'm not surprised that Rattler's. I think if it was my thing, and I've watched way too many Saints beat reporter conversations about the Shuck situation, just because I think it is kind of interesting for dynasty value if Shuck was kind of front runner to win that. But I think if they were close, and they seemed very close in the preseason to me, I think Rattler has played slightly better. It always was going to be Rattler to start, because to start with Shuck and go off of him to Rattler if he's playing bad, teams just don't do that. We see it all the time with rookie quarterbacks getting benched, even first round ones, let alone early seconds. Yo, what's up, all 08? Yo, can you guys help me out?
Can you pull up the trade database real quick? Because Sean was saying...
No,
Sean
all 08.
Sean
you know what, all 08, we can't help you out because Jeremy wants me to pull up the trade database.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. Well, hit this one real quick.
He was saying, like, whoa, a fourth is giving away Rattler. Like, auto trade block for a second or a third. And I pulled up the trade database here, and all I'm seeing is, like you're lucky if you get a third.
Come back.
There's a lot of fourths. You get Tank Dell. I mean, that's basically a Devy pick at this point.
Rattler in a second for the first. Shout out this guy.
Crazy.
Shout out to this guy making that happen. Come on.
That's what you're looking for right there. Get that 26 first.
We're getting seconds thrown on top of Zach Charbonnet for Spencer Rattler.
A second plus. Some of these are crazy,
is...
but you do see a lot of fourths.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, you're getting a third at best.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're playing with someone crazy that will give you a first.
I think the Rattler, I think the true Rattler thing I mean, this one's kind of insane. Like, I have to find a better way to communicate what I'm trying to talk through than adding him onto a second to get a first. But it is kind of this Rattler. He has value. Like, there is something he is worth for. And it's Mr. B's team that has two quarterbacks with the same bye week, and you're like, I got 8 bye weeks. Maybe he's still the starter by then. If they're 0-8, then I'm screwed, I guess. But you tack him onto something to get a third, to get a Zach Charbonnet, to get some sort of backup running back for sure. Some sort of upgrade positionally somewhere, especially if it's a shallow league and Rattler does nothing for you. Because even though we talk about wanting to always start quarterbacks, and we talk about how scarce the position is, how you always want to be starting quarterbacks in your super flex position. Yes, I would want to start Spencer Rattler over, the wide receiver 3 range, but not by that much. How many Spencer Rattler 240 and 2 touchdown games are we going to get this season? I think it's going to look a lot more like the Kenny Pickett games we saw for the Steelers.
Yeah, we kind of know what he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I definitely would. I'm not saying aim low out of the gate, but I am trying to sell him for pretty much anything, because I'm not going to sit on my hands and say he'll be a week 10 starter. I doubt he'll be starting week 10.
Yeah. All right, all 08. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you.
We're back.
Even though Jeremy tried to, I pushed through his Spencer Rattler tangent. Can you guys help me out? I have a keeper league and I have Nico Collins, a round 3, or Jaden Daniels for a round 10. I'm picking from the 104 in a 10-man PPR. Ooh, 10-man. This is tough. It is hard for me to say no to round 3 Nico, but part of me sees 10-man, feels shallow, and that's where I really want to make sure I'm getting an elite quarterback, and you don't have to take the trade-off of taking him in the 3rd, 4th round. Am I crazy? Is round 3 Nico too good?
I think you're crazy.
Okay, that's fair.
I think I think 3rd round Nico is. I mean, Nico is going early mid second. So if I get like an extra 2nd round pick, I'm gonna take that over. I can probably find some way to get quarterback production.
You get to keep your 3rd. That's my only thing.
I guess.
I don't love. I will say I don't love. No, I think this is just redraft, and I understand. Thank you for the sub. Unless that number just went down, I didn't see. If it went down, please come back. You get to keep your 3rd, and I will say, as somebody that's done a handful of best ball drafts this year and like really felt that 3rd round receivers, like it is a lot of sketchier bets than Nico Collins. Like you're looking at, Devontae Adams and, he who should not be named.
I think you've
Garrett
talked
Wilson.
me into it.
I think getting to keep the 3rd round versus the 10th round, like that is a big enough gap for me to feel good about
what
the
do you get in
whole
the 10th
elite
round?
quarterback. Right.
Like it's like
These rookies are
I
all
already
going
lock
earlier than
up
that.
a top quarterback. I still get my high end picks, and I don't have to worry about quarterback at all in the draft. So yeah, I think that's probably what I'd end up doing.
Yeah, and
It's just hard. You see Nico Collins, and you're just like, ooh, like.
So these are all really good call outs. Like I think this is a good call out. He goes in the 4th and 5th round normally, and I think in 10-man as well. The elite quarterback stuff to me matters more in these shallow leagues because I feel confident in myself to build out a decent enough running back and receiver room. So I'm really willing to go elite onesies in my shallow redraft leagues. 3rd round sucks this year, to be honest. This is also a great point, Mr. B. So I understand feeling like the difference between round 2 and round 3 is more like a round and a half or 2 rounds of value in terms of like the wide receiver bets you get to make with the Drake Londons and the Nico Collins versus the, Devontae Adams and, Garrett Wilsons and whatnot. But I think I'm keeping Jaden.
Yeah, I think it's so far down, and it's a 10-man team as well. So like the 3rd round should have more talent. It's not a 12 team, it's a 10 team. So I would end up with Jaden Daniels.
Oh, okay. This is, as somebody that is currently in 3 startup drafts right now and a redraft 2-hour timer slow draft that everyone is using the full 2-hour timer for. Hearing about a family redraft league that's a slow draft. It's been 3 days and we're in round 4, where there's I assume no trading. If there is trading, like I kind of get it, but I assume the family league is not doing trading. It's more of Dale doesn't want to have to pull up his Yahoo drafts at work.
His Yahoo Fantasy. He doesn't want to have to log in, which I get, and use his authenticator app every time.
That is tough. All right, Caleb here. Finished runner-up last year, super solid roster except tight end. Do I trade Igbuka for Laporta? Not tight end premium? Hell nah. Hell nah. And I got the Lions shirt on, man. Igbuka for Laporta. I do like Laporta. Yeah. And I do think that he should go closer to Kittle than Hawkinson, in my opinion. But even with that being said, nah. No tight end premium.
I agree.
What's
the upside?
How can we help
at wide receivers is so much higher.
Yeah, how can we help? So here's the thing, Caleb, and I understand feeling like your roster is really strong except for tight end, and it hurts you. But to me, if I can't get those like elite guys for like decent prices, like I'd probably be more willing to tack on a little bit to Igbuka or a different receiver and make the Igbuka bet to go get Trey McBride if you're able to, than to just straight up trade Igbuka for Laporta. Just because of my confidence that production is a little bit more difference making. But yeah, and not tight end premium, the difference between a tight end giving you 5 for 60 and 2 for 20 is not as big as you think it is.
I will say low key, that might be a decent deal according to the trade database. Like every deal. Every deal I searched Laporta, Igbuka. I was curious what the pluses were. And there's a couple trades in here. And all of them, it's Igbuka plus the bigger plus. Igbuka, AJ Brown for Laporta and Dobbins. And no PPR it's Laporta, JSN, Igbuka, J-Mo, Ferguson. That's probably the most Igbuka favoring side. But I mean, a lot of these are like Igbuka, Evan Ingram for Laporta. And that one is a full tight end premium, so that makes a little bit more sense. But to me, the positional value in a non-tight end premium league, wide receivers are just going to matter more. And realistically, I don't feel like Laporta is going to be something I can't replace elsewhere.
Yeah. All right. You're getting called out. Chet. DD on the clock. Live pick. I will give you 10 seconds to veto this. If not, I am switching over to the display and making you make the pick live on air. You can hit me. Okay, nice. That's what.
Let's do it.
Let me just hide my cue real quick.
Got to keep me honest. I'll pull it up so I'm not
Actually,
looking to the side.
I'll just remove this queue. Starting to get a little more self-conscious about my rosters, you know. All right, here we go. Dynasty Daddy on the clock. Let me switch over to the team. So right now, no tight end.
I kind of don't like this stream.
Well, I like this team.
The one thing I don't like. So one things I do. I'll say a lot. One thing I
really
like
known the flex, but go on.
is I love that Terry McLaurin fell to me with the Jaden Daniels set.
Yeah. Oh, 7-11
I love
Terry is
that.
nice. Who did I take instead of Terry?
And then
JMO? Yeah, that's fine.
Perry 1771. If you're in here, the Hampton falling one more spot would have made my entire life.
Dang.
But still, I feel like Drake May 211. I'm like, that's decent. I'm not the biggest Drake May fan, but that might just be the NC State bias coming out of me. The big thing I don't like about this is both the Smith and AJ Brown, but I just felt like Smith was kind of the last wide receiver in that tier.
Yeah.
So I had to take him, but I'm sitting here, I'm like, I got both pass catchers of a offense that doesn't pass a ton. So that doesn't make me feel that great.
All right.
Let's see.
So right now, so no tight end. It is 0.75 tight end premium. You've got I will say I was expecting Mark Andrews to go earlier. Yeah, at least in this back end of the 10th, early part of the 11th.
Yeah. I'm definitely eyeing Mark Andrews. I know I have a need at tight end.
There's some wide receiver
I do know
bets.
there's a decent premium.
Yep. We got 0.75.
Wide
It's only start
receivers.
one.
It is start 3 wide receivers. So I have 4 decent starters. I may want to pick up an extra one. I don't really care about wide receiver, to be 100% honest, in this range.
I mean, AJ Brown,
especially when
Devonta
there's,
Terry is pretty nice 4-stack to not have to.
Yeah, like I can still get Andrews or Kelsey, and like that to me feels better than ending up with like Cooper Kupp or something like that.
Yeah,
quarterback is like
and
dead.
you got two picks here. You've got Murr and C Mill. Murr also does Murr have a tight end? Murr has Kincaid, the 9-7. And C Mill took Laporta.
I guess,
but I'd get a little sketched about pushing Andrews too
things.
far if you liked him. Yeah.
So using the Dynasty Daddy live draft tool,
Bang.
The best player available according to Dynasty Daddy trade values.
Jeremy's doing this quick.
Oh,
if you're not doing this for your startup, not that you should follow this like it's La Biblioteca. That's the library, not the Bible. But you guys should be doing this. You go to your league. This is alpha, right? You go to your league.
I think is it alpha?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one.
You're good. You go to your league. You can pull up the draft board and you can see all of the players that have been drafted that are grayed out, and you can change and adjust the fantasy market. You know, if you want to look at keep trade cut, if you want to look at ADP Daddy. So right here, staring down Mark Andrews, best value currently, ADP Daddy, tight end 9 there.
That's true.
And then obviously we've got some followers with recent news. Like you have to put context around these if you do want to follow them really closely. Obviously Mixon falling for a reason. Starting on the pup, Brian Robinson just traded to the 49ers. Kelsey engagement photos. Was he getting in shape for smashing this season for the Kansas City Chiefs, or was it for the engagement photos and future wedding with one Mrs. Taylor Swift? Well, future Mrs. Taylor Kelsey. Is there? Oh, damn right.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good. Also, I did add recently the if you see on the side the live draft settings, you can also toggle the current draft board as well. Because originally, like a month ago, you couldn't see the actual draft board. You could only see the best available, and I would always get frustrated with that. Yeah. So now you can actually see what everyone picked.
Ooh. We got a Kelsey gonna ball out.
Okay.
But does that? I think the difference between Kelsey and Mandrews for me at this pick is just like the dynasty bet where I don't know, I'm feeling like 85% that this is the last year for Kelsey, maybe even higher. I felt lucky to get one more year for Kelsey after last year.
Do you believe what Sean L is saying right here.
I'm gonna hit you with a timeout. This is great podcasting from you. And I really should do the improv yes and, but I believe that this is in response
But no,
to
and let's
the
move on.
Igbuka Laporta question. This is a no, you're wrong. No, but I think this is worth talking about right now because I think that was a no tight end premium Igbuka for Laporta question, and he was saying,
I think
you're better off stacking your
because
value
then you
there.
said Ibuka is hot AF, and
Yeah.
I imagine that's not based on the track.
But to be fair, I be going in chats typing Igbuka as hot AF all the time for no reason. So
Now that's great podcasting right there.
Yeah. But my stepson just took Kelsey over Andrews in our family league. LOL. Dang. That's why he's a stepson.
Anthony Richardson's still out there.
Hey, Rich still out there? Yeah, I mean, if I were you, I probably would just be slurping the Dipperino of one Mr. Mark Andrews, unless you loved this range, and I would totally understand it if you were like, hey, I am fine plugging in Evan Ingram, plugging in Travis Kelsey at the turn, and there's another guy I want to target. I get that, but yeah, with all that being said,
Yeah,
apparently you're on the clock in
process
2
here-
weeks, but I won't push for you to do that. We can hit
Oh,
some of the
boy.
questions.
My thought process is I do like Mark Andrews. I do feel like the death of Mark Andrews is a little overhyped, right? Like we saw him come on strong towards the end of the year. He's still a red zone threat. He's still in one of the best offenses in the league, and they don't really have an elite pass catcher. So if he improves again, actually has like, a full off season to practice and stuff, I could see him getting back to a little bit more of what we saw with the additional tight end premium boost. Part of me does want to take a little nibble at the Joe Mixon apple, but I do think I could probably catch him on the swing.
I regretted taking Mixon at I think it might have been the 10-11 turn or something in another league.
Yeah,
I really wanted to hit running back.
It's so far down, but the upside is so big, and I'm just like I probably don't need him for the first 6 weeks anyway. But I do think I'm going to fall in line.
For the what?
I do love a good Mark Andrews. So we'll hammer that one out.
At Mur OTC.
Okay, I'm not. Is it in the Charlie one? I'm also on the clock.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Oh, it's paused for some reason, but I don't know if we want to do that or hit some trade questions.
No, I don't know how interesting this 15-9 pick will be. So we can pass on this one.
Yeah. That works.
Sounds good. We'll switch back over. Good podcasting all around, right? All right. Let's see how far I have to go back. I meant to say, okay, here we go. We got the Chester update. I was right to be mean. I meant to say Judkins and a first and 2 seconds.
I was right to be mean.
For Gibbs, which is definitely better. Definitely better than Judkins in 2 seconds. But
right to be mean. That's a good quote right there. I was right to be mean.
Mr. B, is this I think this is still for Rattler. Really? I'm putting Rattler send me a pick, please, is what I'm doing in my leagues where I have Spencer Rattler. But if you think you can get, maybe this is somebody else, let me know, Mr. B. But if you can get a second or a third for that man, I highly recommend you do that now.
Yeah, I'd take it and run. I like this, like, Rattler in a fourth for a second. Sure.
Yeah. All right, is Jordan James a drop for one of either Afton Chisholm, who is looking like he's making the roster, or Arade Gadsden? Probably. I think I'd rather make those bets just with the B-Rob edition. You're assuming RB4 on the depth chart. Now it's only 1 year. Like they would have to re-sign B-Rob, but still, I think that those...
You can always pick them up again.
Yeah, I think those bets are a little bit better. All right, any interest in a salary cap league? After some heart-to-heart conversations with one Mrs. Sanders FF, I believe that my answer is not at the moment. But I got hit. Here's, and it's fair. We've all been there. Anyone that's got a Mr. or a Mrs. who feels the pain of you having to sit in an office for 2 hours for a redraft draft, I got hit with the back-to-back nights that I was scheduled to do that on top of having like the stream and everything. So yeah, my answer is no, but I'll let Jeremy give you his own response.
I think it would be fun, but I think it's already hard enough to kind of do trades in a way, and it adds an additional wrinkle. And there's not an easy platform that I know of that integrates salary cap stuff directly into everything. So, and given just how, given that I have been auto picked in one of my 3 startup drafts currently, I'm like, I feel like I would need to clear some drafts and be like, okay, I can, or clear some leagues and be like, really focus on salary cap things. But I do think it would be a really fun mode. I'm just not familiar with like the platforms and if it can be super seamless in terms of actually being managed.
I like these back-to-back comments. The redraft week doghouse, and then Becca with the please no. I fear
no.
I will be stealing.
Becca's
I had
in
a
the
right
same.
to be mean. Sorry, Jeremy.
Dang.
That's funny.
That's a double whammy right there. The please no, and I had the right to be mean.
Wait, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing. Here we go. This is one question. Curtis, what's up? What's your guys' thoughts on Cooper to the Raiders? Yeah, so 1 year, cheap. I think it's like a 3-something million deal. I think to me, more so than like feeling good about Cooper, like maybe I found myself like I feel worse about Cooper to the Raiders than I do Keenan to the Chargers in terms of like my
I was
expectations
about to
for,
ask that.
for
I
this
was
year
like, which
production.
one do you feel better about?
Yeah, for sure Keenan 100%. But yeah, I think Cooper to me feels more, I think it's going to be very Billsy, where it would not surprise me at all if he's like, it's kind of this, he is signing with the team, a week and a half before we're about to play. Now, granted, Bills was in the middle of the season, so that is even tougher. But to me, it feels more like a roadblock for Thornton and Besh to be impactful year one than necessarily is wheels up for, Cooper to smash, Jacoby to the bench or traded. My thought is it's just depth of the receiver room, and the Raiders were probably looking at, we like Thornton, but do we want Thornton to be playing, 80-90% of snaps, or him and Trey Tucker combining for 90% of our third wide receiver snaps? Probably not. Let's get another guy in here. That's my guess.
Yeah, and I mean, I think too, it's like a little swan song of like, oh, Amari Cooper's coming back, let him retire. And then you add in the wrinkle of Brock Bowers is there, so he's obviously going to be the number 1 target earner.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers probably will still be there, so it's not like Cooper's he would have to really level up, considering he didn't really carve out a role in Buffalo. And Buffalo's probably going to pass the ball way more last year than the Raiders are this year, given the fact that they also have Gene T and a lot of things going that way. So yeah. I think you summed it up pretty well.
All right, what would be a good draft pick to trade for Stephon Diggs? We can just do like the rookie draft picks. I mean, it's a little bit format dependent for me on like what teams and roster sizes I would want to be making the Stephon Diggs production bet. Like in my shallower leagues, like a lot of those second round picks, I'd rather just make the bet on like one of those running backs having a huge like rise bump in value than trading it for, an old veteran receiver coming off an ACL tear. But I do like May this year. I don't know. What are you thinking? Would you, if you saw an early third for Diggs, would you be like fleece for the Diggs bet?
I think so if I was a contender. Like, I think it's kind of like one of those contender moves. But
Yeah.
if I had a third and someone was like, here's Diggs, I'm taking that every time. And I'm like, and I just expect,
Worst
hey, Diggs
case.
is going to be the guy that rounds out the bottom of my flexes, and I'll plug him in for bye weeks and things like that. But also has the upside of being a pretty solid guy if he can, get back to being healthy. There's not really a ton of target competition. Like, I mean, low key, Henderson's probably the biggest threat there in New York, or not New York, in New England. So yeah. I mean, I think a second's a little rich for me. I feel like at that point, like I'd probably be targeting guys like an Aaron Jones or a Connor. Like, I feel like there's guys that have a much higher consistency in ceiling than a Diggs, where even last year he was decent, but it was a lot of low A dot stuff. It was kind of a lot of design things, which is fine, but not as sustainable. You want those big chunk plays, not like Wayndell Robinson souped up.
Yeah, I feel like I would rather, like, instead of doing the late second for Diggs or whatever, I would rather just do like a second plus whatever player I don't think matters, but somebody thinks matters, for like Mike Evans or Cortland Sutton or something. Now, those might be harder because you just got the Sutton extension. But like the Mike Evans situation, we're talking about how excited we are for Ibuka. Godwin not going to be on the pup, but expecting not to play until October for, pass offense we all like.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Looking at the
I love the way
Dynasty
you
Daddy
set up the questions
trade
for me.
database.
Yeah, let's hear it.
We got a super flex, 10 teams, start 10, full PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, Stephon Diggs, a 26 seconds, and Devontae Adams.
Which side am I taking? So it's Diggs and a 26 second for Devontae?
Diggs in a second for Adams. Like, I think that's a good way of using Diggs.
That is a good way of using Diggs. But I also, I could really see myself
doing either or.
Yeah, that's a good deal. It would have to be in a league where I feel like the seconds carry like weight, where I feel like I can turn those into running back production whenever I want to. I would have to feel good about that to do that off of Devontae. But I could see myself doing the Devontae side too, if it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm value rich. Let me just turn one of these seconds and Diggs into a wide receiver upgrade. All right, I feel like I need to address this. This is in response to me saying that I believe Laporta should be closer to Kittle right now than he is to Hawkinson in terms of redraft expectations for this year. Laporta and Hawk will be near equals this year. And it's tough because I do like Hawk this year as well. But I think to me, it's more of the realistic expectations for, one, how both Laporta and Hawk finished last year. And I do think a lot of the Laporta stuff last year was injury related. I understand the fears with like the Lions offense stuff and everything, but I think there's more questions with the Vikings in terms of, rookie quarterback, JJ McCarthy. You do get the Addison suspension buff a little bit, but they've got Ty Felton now.
That's big. That's big. If you've watched these streams, it's big.
But I like Hawk too. I think it was more of, to me, it's less of, I think Laporta should be going next to Kittle, as it is, there's a huge gap between Kittle and Laporta and Hawk. And to me, I think and I love Kittle, and he was amazing last season, but I think the Niners context of last year, with all the injuries they dealt with no Christian McCaffrey, I think that is some additional context to why I think those tight ends should go closer to Kittle.
Hawk to me is like that good player that's just like uninspiring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think Laporta had a little bit of a regression to start the year, but was putting up those elite numbers that we saw McBride and Bowers consistently do. And I feel better that Laporta can get there than a Hawk, who's kind of always been Hawk. And he's in an offense where they will pass the ball, but I don't think they're going to be passing the ball to him per se when you have Addison and obviously, Justin Jefferson there. So I do agree. I think Laporta just, it's the baked in upside of, we saw what his rookie year was, and we saw some flashes of that his second year. And we don't know like Jamo's long-term play, because they might be replacing him with Tesla. We don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. And
Laporta could certainly, have a more consistent year next year.
Yeah, and to me,
just needs to not get banged up.
Right. To me, and I'm getting tripped out by this duplicate chat message. Don't worry, guys. I figured it out. To me, like, just looking at Laporta, and I mean, you see the back end of the season, some of the injury stuff in terms of, obviously 3 for 6 and 2 touchdowns is kind of that's a Mark Andrews ass stat line from last year. But 5 for 54, 7 for 111, 4 for 43, 6 for 64 and a touchdown. Like, I feel I think it's a lot more likely that we see those consistent stat lines from Laporta. I'm not saying that my expectations for this year, but I foresee that being a lot more likely for Laporta in this offense than I do for Hawkinson in the Vikings offense. And that's all I'll say. Okay. So
you're paying a similar price too.
For sure. At least in redraft, for sure. But yeah, I think a lot of people like the Hawkinson bet. And I do too. I just took him in a startup. So I don't know. I just, I feel like I need to respond when
Here's
even
my
if
hot take.
Ooh, hot.
I think Hawk to me is like one of the bozo picks in a draft.
Dang.
Like I think once you get to the Hawk level, I'm like I'm kicking all tight
All
end.
right, you did get good value on Andrews. I will give you that. That does make me feel worse about the Hawk pick in that league. Was that league? Alpha?
Is it that one?
I think it might have been Bravo was my Hawk pick. Which one's my weird one? I think no, Alpha's my weird one. Alpha I started
Alpha's
McBride
the weird one?
Bowers. Yeah, let's go. Dude,
Oh,
this
yeah.
seems kind of sick.
That reminded me of the
Dude, I landed the plane on
stream
this
you
thing.
did. The stream that we did, where I think you did tight end on that one as well, where you just picked.
Oh, dude, no,
it's like
I did,
two tight ends or two running backs.
Yeah, I did Bijan Genti, and I was the whole draft. I was just complaining. I was like,
Yeah, and you're like, this team sucks. I would never do this. I would never do that.
It was probably an annoying
the
listen.
first Dynasty draft, the first real draft. You're like, let me just take two tight ends.
F it, we ball. It's 0.75 time premium. It's pushing mattering a lot. Oh wait, I missed this one. Missed a B.
You have pulled it together though.
Thank you for that. Honestly, it's the wide receiver values. I will say that I think I got kind of lucky. Maybe not lucky because it depends on how you feel about these guys. But Pickens at the 6'12", JMO 7'3", Judy 8'10", Pittman 11'1" is like what you have to do if you do a goofy double tight end start to fix the wide receiver position. All right, Mr. B here. Oh, I meant to ask, how does the Dynasty Daddy market option work in the trade calculator versus ADP Daddy or the other calculator options?
Yeah, so the Dynasty Daddy market option, that's one of the new ones. We had that exclusive to the Patreon for the past month and a half or so, but now it's we're doing like an open beta. Basically anyone can use it, but it's built on the underlying data of ADP Daddy, which is sourced from real Dynasty drafts. We have over 300,000 drafts in our database, and then we add in the additional wrinkle of the Dynasty Daddy trade database, which has 3.6 million trades. So when we put it all together, we can weight different values. Like, for example, in the middle of April, there's less trades going on. We can put more emphasis on drafts, while during the season, drafts all these different trades are happening. Not as many drafts are happening. So we say, hey, we don't really care about draft data at that point. So it kind of creates this 365 every single day, every 2 hours, updating market. And you'll see, like, if you go in there, I added a thing where it's like last updated, so you can track, when did this last run? When did this last update? But every 2 hours it will update. And I will say I think it has the most data points of any fantasy market out there, because we have over 50 million draft picks and 3.6 million trades. So a lot of millions going into making that fantasy market. And it's up to you how you want to use it. I mean, that's the fun of fantasy markets. You just can toggle them in and out.
Beautiful. No additional comment here. Some updates I want to hit that I missed while we were going through these. Having to listen to Will hype up Andrews when I was wanting him to fall to me was hard. Yeah, that's got to be tough to watch him go all the way down. Did you try to trade up at all? I don't know. I think there's some tight ends on the board I still would like for like this, this year and next production.
Having Will hype up Andrews. I did see the message of Curtis being like, don't take who I want, Jeremy. No, I mean, I think to me, it was just, I'm always like a homer for Mark Andrews. I always like Mark Andrews. So I was like, the value's really strong there, but there was the mixing question as well of like,
yeah,
I'm like, do I get a decent enough running back in the 10th round? Like I'm like, I can wait 4 weeks, and if that dude comes back and is just ripping it, then I would regret that.
Right. And like I get the Woody's Roundup fan club, but man, would it surprise you at all
Woody's Roundup
if Mixon starts practicing, looking good, 100% ready to go, and just absolutely dusts Chubb, and Woody's playing his third down snaps, and Chubb is like, every 3 or 4 series he's coming in and taking snaps, but would not surprise me at all if it's just Mixon season once he's healthy and back. And he is older, but it's a running back bet you make at that portion of the draft. Jeremy, any big plans for the first NFL weekend of the season? I want to know. Here's what I want to know: how are you watching the Thursday night game first, and then what is the first NFL weekend watching? Are you a red zone guy? You give me red zone vibes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The attention span. I need to have the. I need red zone. I also do have the Panthers game up. Sometimes depending on how the season's going.
Yeah, what the score is in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean, after the first couple weeks of last year, and I was like, this might be the worst game I've ever seen in my entire life. I did turn it off for a bit, but
at least they're fun games.
Yeah,
when
I think
when the defense is bad, and it's like, well, we get to watch.
Oh yeah.
Well, it was Bryce Young for a little bit. Yeah, we get to watch Andy Dalton sling it for a little bit.
That was the worst part. Is like towards the end, I was like, whatever. The defense sucks, but we're watching Bryce Young take the Eagles and the Chiefs to the end, and I'm like, okay, that's sick. When you're watching like Bryce Young look like he's a lost kid on the playground, and like Miss Sally called in the sixth graders already from recess, and he's like, where the hell did everyone go? And then you watch that defense of like, we just don't exist. I was like, what is this team? Like, I was like, I do think that was a team. It was one of those ones where it's like, I think a college team might be able to beat this team. Like, you might be able to put Ohio State in there and to just run over that Panthers defense. But
all right, I need to
first weekend, I'm definitely on the couch watching Red Zone. I may go out to like a bar, or I'll definitely have a good drink for like the Thursday night. Got to do a little kickoff.
Yeah, I'll probably my like special Thursday night thing will probably be a little pizza, a little something, maybe get a fun special drink. I used to be like a Speedy Freeze guy. That was like special drink. I'd go get one. I've been cutting back on the sugar a little bit. But no, and let me know if I'm cooked, guys. And I don't know how often I'll be able to do this.
Is he cooking or cooked?
I need to say this quiet. Just make sure Mrs. Sanders isn't hearing me. The ideal Football Sunday breakdown is this monitor I'm looking at right here is a couple games. This monitor over here I'm looking at is a couple games. This TV monitor up here is like Lions game. And then maybe Red Zone over here. But I think that might be too much if I have like 6 games going on and Red Zone. So I'm thinking about one of these being the Lions game. I have a TV over here. And the other one being like, what's Will's favorite game? Like Bills Ravens or something. Like some kind of like sick game that I want to watch all of. And then I'll keep like Browns. I'm trying not to say Panthers. Give me another crappy team. Browns.
Panthers.
Being a Panthers fan hasn't been fun since peak Cam Newton days. Damn. You have a little fun with Baker? You have a little fun with Sam Darnold? No, probably not.
That was painful.
Well, so CMC you probably had some fun with before he was.
I had
post-Cam.
It was I guess the most fun was probably the Steve Wilkes season, where we barely snuck into the playoffs and then lost to Tom Brady like his last year. And like I think it was the Matt Rule got fired midseason, and then Wilkes like rallied the troops and they won like 4 straight or something. And I was like, okay, like this is ugly, but I'll watch it. But the last time I was really happy was 2018 against the Steelers, who are also very good. And the Panthers were 6-2. Cam Newton was leading the MVP conversations. He was balling. I mean, super efficient.
Superman.
And then TJ Watt right into the shoulder. And he was never able to throw again.
Damn.
But that was the last. I remember getting so hyped for that game.
Guys, football is back. I just want to say it out loud. I know we know it.
I'm sad.
No. You're happy because I just saved you. Football is back. Like there's new football. we will be in football watching season. Next week this time we'll be talking about two more sleeps like we're children and it's Christmas until
Chanel has to rub some dirt in the wound right now.
Damn.
We got freaking DJ Johnson or whatever the hell with that pick that we got for CMC.
Oh, man, I'm feeling the Niners fan, and I haven't even honestly. I will say shout out to the Niners fans. I haven't gotten a lot of like Niners fan flack from the NFC Championship game. The Lions kind of threw in the second half, and I appreciate that.
That was rough
because that would scar me if they were laying down the heat on that. All right, Andre here. Help me save my roster, please. Lost. Dramatic pause because I double tapped. I double tapped the message and it wasn't showing up. I lost in the Super Bowl to a God Squad. I need to pack a punch. Andre, let us know what the breakdown is. Ooh, would you give up a 27 first for Rice? Thoughts? I mean, this is the time I think to buy Rice.
27's tough.
I mean, maybe you would get the tough thing with Rice is there's a chance that this suspension I think wouldn't bleed into the NFL playoffs for the Chiefs, but could bleed into the fantasy playoffs just because my understanding of the situation, and let me tell you, I'm not a lawyer or a smart person, but my understanding of the situation is
Wait, really?
Which one? My understanding is that the NFL wanted a huge push in like half the season suspension, and the Chiefs were like, please no. Can we do kind of more of the independent, kind of like the Deshaun Watson situation where there's like another judge that reviews like what the NFL and teams are presenting, all the evidence, and then gives their recommendation for a suspension. So the only tough thing with that is that could push into like, we're really close to the season. And if that hearing and situation doesn't get settled until a couple weeks into the season, maybe it's a 6-game suspension that starts, week 10 or something. And then that bleeds into you're pushing the fantasy playoffs. I know. And this is the best ball will is what's happening with that. But we've got Sean here. Buy him mid suspension could be his low points.
I would probably buy him.
But a single first I think is like that is like a good you're getting Rice price, I think. I get the 27 fear, but I think that is
unless if it's like a bad team's first, yeah. If it's like a competent manager, even if it's like an all right manager, I'm probably sending it just because. I mean, screw it. You're not going to get much of a better value.
Yeah,
it is scary with the early 27s, just because like, I mean that class at the top end might just be like filthy. So
man, what happened to Rashee Rice corner, Jeremy? Let me pull up the thumbnail, guys. We've got the new vid.
Oh boy,
there's a Rashee Rice corner. I'm spoiling it. Check it out. But man, I will say, Jeremy, I get it though.
I'm just saying you need to have the gutter rails up, right? Like if you're like this team sucks and they have no window of being relevant, I'm not trading an early first, just because that thing is ripping in value.
Mm-hmm.
Like early 27 first is probably the most valuable thing outside of the top 10, dynasty players.
Yeah. All right. Curtis here. How much would you add onto Stroud and Wilson to get Allen? He has May, Murray, and T-Law, so I want to upgrade one of my QBs. I think my best approach in these kind of situations is when I have similar range quarterbacks. So like you have May and Stroud that kind of go in a similar range, and then obviously Murray a little bit behind, but still in that kind of range. It is just like, you tell me. Like I understand I'm coming to Josh Allen, and whenever.
It's probably got to be like May plus Wilson plus a little.
Yeah, I mean, I would for sure start with like what's your favorite quarterback? I like doing that. I like giving them the options, and you kind of say like, I know they're in a similar range and tier, but like obviously if I'm coming to get the big Kahuna,
you got to butter them up a little bit.
I got to know. And if they say May, then even though I'm sure you like one quarterback over the other, you have to understand that you're getting Josh Allen, so you have to kind of take a step back. Would you do 2 of these quarterbacks? Because I think a lot of like Josh Allen teams have a weaker quarterback too because of the way they started their drafts.
Oh, he does like Stroud most.
Okay. Yeah, would you?
Yeah, I mean, I would do two, but I doubt someone's gonna be like, you know what, I want 2 quarterbacks, unless if like it's Josh Allen and Anthony Richardson or something.
Yeah.
So here's a few trades of Josh Allen, CJ Stroud. Josh Allen in a first for CJ Stroud and Malik Neighbors, which kind of makes sense. Like that's a little bit bigger. There's one here. CJ Stroud, Garrett Wilson, a 26 second for Josh Allen. I mean, you might have your answer right there.
I can.
It's funny that it's literally with the trade we're discussing.
All right, I got you. Garrett Wilson. I didn't update any of these. Pretty specific. Well, this one's blowing my mind. I don't even know if we can break this one down.
I just did Shroud and Josh Allen, but I don't see that other pick. Which one's that one?
This was 10 days ago with Wilson. So Stroud, Wilson in a second, Josh Allen. I mean, that's a pretty clean. See if he'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I think it's
that's
tough.
good
If
because I feel good if I moved Wilson Stroud in a second. I'm not like, oh man, I gave up too much.
Yeah.
If he's open to tearing down off Josh Allen, frankly, you just do whatever the hell you can to kind of get him without being like, here's all my first and all my players. But I think that's kind of the offer I would send.
Yeah.
Stroud, Wilson a second. You can even screenshot this and be like, yo, can't say it's unfair. This dude literally took this trade.
True. No one's ever had a bad trade experience by screenshotting a trade calculator and sharing with somebody. So, no.
Hey, you better share. You can also.
Oh, true. Wait.
Seamless plug. You can share integrated sharing on the trade calculator now.
Heck yeah. All right. Starting a soft rebuild, and I think there's a later question that I think is similar to this one. What up, Droidica? Starting a soft rebuild, 12 team, start 10, need wide receiver. What would you give up Saquon for? And I believe this is part of it. Would you give up Saquon? So this isn't obviously a wide receiver is not included in this deal, but would you give up Saquon and James Cook, or Saquon for Cook and a first? And I think in a rebuilding team, I'm definitely doing that.
Smash, easy. That's such good value on Saquon.
Heck yeah.
Because then you could take Cook and maybe get a first, and all of a sudden you have two firsts. Or you could flip Cook into a wide receiver like an Addison or something.
Yeah, just got the contract too. So like even the James Cook haters, and like I mean we've talked about like at cost for a lot of it. We like making different running back bets, but even us and the other James Cook haters,
am I a Cook hater?
Have to accept that the contract extension is like it is the nice stamp of holding dynasty value for running back in a good offense. I will say Birds builds here. No, don't send screenshots. That's gross. I will say I think you have to be there has to be either some sort of mutual understanding or the situation is right for you to share the screenshot. So when you send a screenshot and it's like you just sent the trade offer and they haven't even looked at it and you're like, bro, it's fair, like hit accept, like, okay, no. But I think screenshot sharing is more, to me, it's like I send an offer to somebody that is along the lines of what they want. Like they're like, hey, I'm trying to get Josh Allen. And I send them Stroud, Garrett Wilson, a second. And trade calculator, it's looking fair. And they're like, no, I don't want to do that. That's terrible. And I'm like, hey man, like, okay, let me know what you want to do. But like, here's where I'm at. Like, here's a trade calculator. This is what it's looking like. Not that I just send trade calculators.
I will always support sending screenshots because sharing my site helps.
Yeah. Tell them to.
I always appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, you got to be polite about it. Like, it's annoying when someone's like, it says it's fair. Like, why won't you accept? I'm like, well, right. Like, I'm sorry, this isn't 2K. Like, you can't just say trade this player and send them right out. But I do think I send it mostly with people in home leagues where, like, I'm like, what do you want for this player? And they're like, 3 first. And I'm like, okay, buddy. Like, understand what, like, we need to be at least somewhat close in, like, an understanding of what it actually is. And frankly, I think the trade database is kind of more useful for that than the trade calculator a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because actually sending real trades can definitely like help level set people that have never really played. And two, like a lot of people, like you were mentioning, like a lot of people are like, hey, I'm Dynasty Daddy. Like I'm not gonna let him fleece me, so I'm just not gonna trade with him. So it's like I gotta like warm them up a little bit of like I'm helping you out because you're not gonna get fleeced now. Like, let's talk this through.
Yeah. To me, it is kind of like the calculator aspect. And then on top of it, it is like, here is what the community thinks of these players. Like, I understand you might have a different perspective, but I'm not coming here trying to like screw you over in this deal. Like this is
not
just
trying to like
what a general thought would be for people. That's the approach for trade calculator, I think. All right, here's a follow-up to a drop Jordan James waiver pickup question. Who would you pick up, Jalen Lane, Chisholm, or Gaston? I think if the tight end premium...
Sorry, I was about to say tight end premium. Yeah. Tight end premium is a key factor because if you have a good tight end premium, Gadsden probably has the closest path to being relevant.
Yeah.
But if there isn't a good one, then I'm probably going Chisholm. I just feel like people are going to see a white slot receiver with a Patriots helmet, and they're gonna go crazy for that.
Yeah.
So like if all he needs is like 1 or 2 games and I can flip him for something, then I feel like that's what I would want.
And and to the nice thing about Chisholm, and I mean you could say the same thing about Gadsden too. I mean Gadsden was playing a decent amount with the starters. Like all of these, like you don't want to make your rookie bets like super early on, but I think a lot of these, specifically Gadsden and your boy Efton, are in a situation where there's a chance that like the first couple weeks of the season we see a role immediately. They've made the roster and it's like, oh wow, like Gaston just ran, he was on 60% of snaps week 1 over Tyler Conklin and Will Dissly. Like that's pretty sick. That is like, okay, I'll keep making this bet. All right, here is Ray. Rather have Diggs in a second. This is back on the Devontae trade. I think Devontae is massively overdrafted. He's gonna have Jimmy G half the season, and he's 32. I just will say the Devontae Adams we saw last season, I think didn't look like your average 31, 32-year-old, and I think Jimmy G is actually a pretty decent backup quarterback if you're scared about the situation, especially in a Sean McVay Rams offense. But I get it. I think the Diggs in a second, and you're probably speaking more to the second part, Ray Rue. But yeah, the ACL tear stuff. But I mean, the reports have been good about his practice. Okay, we don't have to. Let's see. This is
James Cook in the first. That's a great deal.
love the Cook. Trade database stuff. Yo, what's up? Oh, Remy. My Dynasty League sucks in 3 years. There's been 3 trades, and I've been a part of them all. That is tough. Yeah, this is kind of a good question. What's your kickstart for like a stagnant league? Like it's tough because you want to like grab the whole league by the shoulders and just be like, this is so like we are general managers for our fantasy teams and we get to have these players forever. To me, I think the biggest thing for me was explaining the concept of tanking. Not that I think teams should just go to tank. Like I do think you want to be building contending teams, not going all in, but teams that can make the playoffs every year if you can. But to me, the way I love pitching Dynasty to people who are like more redraft people is the ability for trades to not just be focused on the 1 year sample size. So obviously in redraft leagues, we talk about all the time where it is player for player, and usually redraft trades only happen when it's like, I need a running back, you need a receiver. Bang, we can make that happen. That happens in Dynasty too, but with more of second round, third round, first round picks can make things different in value. Yeah, I don't know. Do you have any kickstart the activity in a Dynasty League stuff? Maybe more auto. I think auto accept trade block is a good thing where, teams that aren't active read the chat. If teams at least read the chat and see, oh, like, I would pay a second round pick for Zach Charbonnet, and they send it over to you and you're like, okay, cool. A trade just happened. And all I had to do was change a nickname on a player. And then maybe other teams start doing that. And then you start seeing moves happen.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard when it's, like a league that's not active. Like, and if it's a point where it's like things like auto accept trade block don't work, to me, like I think the best way to do it is just be like, hey, next year let's raise dues, and then like the people that are like, oh, I don't actually give a crap, leave. Like that's like in a way you kind of got to like get rid of all the inactive people if they're not going to take it seriously or whatever. Like it's hard if some people are just checked out, and I don't know what else you could do to motivate them besides being like, hey, this thing that you never pay attention to and lose every year, you're going to have to pay more money to lose and not pay attention to it.
Yeah.
To actually make them do something. And that would be my question is like, how much are the actual league dues? Because if it's like free or $5, like there's probably a reason why they're not paying attention.
Yeah. I have not opened my free league in a minute.
Yeah, no, I have a free league, and I won last year. I forgot I won. Like that's.
Did you get like a congrats in the chat from the commish or something?
Yep, my only living group me I have through the group me app is that chat, and they do it on Flea Flicker. It's my only Flea Flicker league, and they don't use the built-in draft features, so they have like their own spreadsheet, but it's free. And every year I'm like, we should switch to Sleeper, and we should put at least $5 on this. Like, make it something. But my team in that league is also probably too nasty because that was the first league I got into Dynasty with. So like, my team, I think I have like 5 of the top Dynasty wide receivers and everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, Birds, the only thing I'll say to this, weekly incentives, pots of money, like I do get it, but I do think that teams and managers that are already not active, I think you just don't want to push them away too much where people are like, if they're already inactive, they're like, man, I don't want to be putting more into this. Like I lose every year and I don't want to put more money and all this stuff. But yeah, I think
it's a question of why they're inactive. And if it's just
right.
they don't want to actually play the game, then like there's nothing you can really do to convince them to,
Yeah.
unless if you're like, hey, let's make it more expensive.
And if it's
Like,
your
then
home
they're gonna
draft with your
be
boys, I mean I'd be or and girls, I'd be straight up and I'd be like, dude, like watch this trade show every week. There's people that are posting their trades and they're like, what do you think about this? And it's this whole breakdown and this team's tanking and they're trying to get first round pick for Christian McCaffrey because they don't need his points because they're going to tank and get the first round pick next year. And, this rookie class in 2027 is supposed to be really good. But yeah, this is it too. Dynasty is definitely not for everyone. I do think it is. The pipeline is people that are overly obsessed with redraft and are like,
it's the
and
people
really
that play
love
Madden
yeah,
Dynasty mode. And
yeah,
every time Madden releases,
love
they're like,
football.
please fix Dynasty. Dynasty sucks. Those are the people that play Dynasty fantasy football
Yeah,
because
and there's
that's the fun of it.
yeah, and I've got a friend who's like he's a big college football guy, and he never played Dynasty, always played redraft, but like was very aware of like all of the top prospects going into the next year, and I would talk to him about it, and he'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know you were like super into college football," and I was like, "You know what? I like kind of was, but like got way more into it when I started playing a ton of Dynasty leagues and like really care about all these prospects and everything." So you just got to find what'll get the people going. I had one guy tell me I don't trade. That guy needs to just get an
At least he has a
underdog
strategy.
account and just put his dues into there. Yeah, it's the most fun, man.
Did we hit this one?
You have your team forever.
The
No.
Candranos. I hope I'm saying it right. Send Rice, Terry, and KW3 for Amon Ra and a first.
And a
Trying to
first.
compete. Pacheco would be my RB2 unless I use that first to buy another RB. Are you doing that consolidation?
Ooh. Rice, Terry, and Kenneth Walker for Amon Ra and a first. So can we cross out?
I think I am.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got the format,
You
but
get the suspension. You can turn that first to a running back, and then if we put
or second.
yeah, true. You send a second for running back. You send a second for James Conner, and you have Amon-Ra. You lose a second, but you get Amon-Ra and James Conner, and you get to bank that first, and you get to compete while holding a first for next year. I think I'm doing that.
12-team Superflex 0.5 PPR.
Unless it is, if it's like a super deep league.
Yeah, that would be the only question. If it's like a 12, but start 12, 13 players, then it might be. But even then, you get a first. Like, you're going to get a good player with that first. So in reality, you're turning Kenneth Walker for a first. I'd probably take the first. And then Rice and Terry for Amon-Ra. I'm probably taking the Amon-Ra side.
Yeah. All right, we got, what's up, Ian? 26 first for Derrick Henry on an obvious contender with Gibbs, Chase, McConkey, McBride, Wilson, Moore, Igbuka. Mixon is my second RB and scaring me. Yeah, I'm not expecting to have Mixon for, at least the first 4 or 6 games.
I'd probably do that. If you're an obvious contender, this roster looks pretty solid. That's the price for a contender, but you're giving up a late first for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, we would probably do the whole conversation of like what can a second get you at the running back position, and if you are an obvious contender, would you rather just hold the first and feel strong enough about your weekly projection to just throw in James Conner, Aaron Jones for cheaper? But I think it's fine. I would probably would you rather find a way to get Saquon with a first and something, or just
I would certainly start at like the Saquon.
If you're doing a first for an older running back, I would at least start there and try.
Are you shopping around for CMC over Derrick Henry, or are you going?
That's a risk
would
tolerance
put
question.
Henry over.
I'm currently taking Christian McCaffrey over Derrick Henry in almost all redraft
CMC
formats.
is RB11. Derrick Henry's RB15.
I would do it.
I feel like I would also
but
give a shot at the CMC.
I'll start high. This is a great squad. I mean, when you're talking about a nasty wide receiver room and the last wide receiver you name is Igbuka, you're doing it right. Good. I assume good rookie draft.
You know how
good
to
roster
butter up
construction.
Will. Just mention Igbuka.
Ian knows ball. Guy with Derrick Henry is a lot easier to work with. Yeah, that is the fun context about dynasty leagues too.
Yeah.
And I try to be aware of it. You know, when we talk about trying to find certain players, and we talk about Travis Hunter trades, like not all 12 managers are created equal in leagues in terms of opinions and how they not even just their rosters and who's a competing team, who's a fraud, who's frisky, but like how they feel about their rosters, how they feel about certain players. But yeah, cheers. Appreciate it. Ooh, see, hey, Will. I see my name. I click. I know you're a big Lions guy. I was surprised to see Jackson Meeks waived, but I get it. Thought he had one of the better preseasons, but finally good enough to be cutting good players. Yeah, man, some of the injury stuff is still bumming me out. But that has been for most of the preseason. But we got some dogs, man. Only dogs in this pound. Nah, dude, I think I'll do the Tesla. Let me do the Tesla thing real quick. I think he's going to be playing meaningful snaps for the Detroit Lions this season. I think he's a good run blocker, and that gets Dan Campbell going. So and obviously like contested catch guy, good hands. That is, man, if Tesla was on the team, we would have beat the San Francisco 49ers because he would have caught those key third down passes. That's all I'm going to say. No one knows what I'm talking about except for Lions and Niners fans.
One of the smart things that the Lions do is they pay their guys quickly.
Yes. The
fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown's contract is less than like Terry McLaurin's now is insane.
Yeah. They, the lockup tool, they're like, this guy, guys that are Lions for life. Yeah.
You don't pull a Jerry Jones. You sign the dude as soon as you can because in 2 years everyone's gonna be like, wait, Amon-Ra's the 8th highest paid wide receiver?
Yeah. Okay. Missed this one. Giulio. Oh, I gotta stop doing. I do the Italian accent every time I see this name come through. Somebody's gotta stop me. All right. Giulio. Of the following waiver wire rookies, who are you prioritizing? Tosh Brooks, Woods, Rashard Smith. I assume was that Woody Marks? Am I missing something? Is there Woods I'm blanking on? You think of Woody? We'll just do Woody because it's a similar range. Robert Woods. Trevor Etienne, Jalen Lane, Arroyo, Fannin.
I think it is Robert Woods.
For real, dang. Yeah, not him. This is interesting. This is also a tight end premium question. I will say I am excited to make the Arroyo Fannin bet in leagues that have decent tight end premiums. I actually just took Fannin in one of the Dynasty Daddy startups. And just the buzz of him, playing decent snaps with the starters in the preseason. Okay, playing decent snaps with the start. I mean, I think it's got to be Marks, unless the tight end premium is crazy.
Yeah,
like
Marks
fourth round running back in a good situation.
Brooks is 2, Fannin is 3, and then the other ones I don't really care. I'd just probably take Rashad Smith.
Yeah, I would put Arroyo in like a tiny tier behind Fannin. I know like draft capital conversations and expectations, but for me the Fannin buzz has been really good this offseason. The preseason stuff's been good. Not just like he caught a touchdown, but like him resting with the starters. Like I don't really buy these whole Njoku's not going to be on the Browns week 6, but like just hearing those at all, I think is wheels up, duck feet up for Harold Fannin. Ooh, this is a good question here. In a contending situation, is it better to hold off on trades until later into the season? And then this is probably somewhat related.
I think it depends.
I'm in a scenario where roster as is with Bill Merritt as my RB2. I'm top 3 projections weekly. Yeah, it definitely does depend. I think to me, being a top 2 to 3 contending roster, I would rather have the flexibility than trading away my like firsts to feel like I have the best roster.
Hmm. I think it comes down to like the class of trade.
Yeah.
Am I trading away a first? And I think sometimes you do, right? For example, the trade earlier with like Derrick Henry. Like if you need to lock in that dude because Joe Mixon was your 2 and now you're a little bit shaky, sure. Because when you actually are competing, surprise, surprise, you need to win games. And those first games are important. So you do want to make sure you're getting a good head start. If my team is loaded and I'm like, oh, let me get a depth play or whatever, I'm okay doing that. I just don't want to move picks. I want to hold that first as long as I can, because if all hell breaks loose and Christian McCaffrey gets hurt or whoever gets hurt, I need to have that like silver bullet that can go buy me something from anyone. And that's what that first round pick is.
Ooh, I'm skipping some trades here to hit you with the Jerry boy. I'm checking if these are related. I'm looking to cook up a trade with you. Genty for Amon-Ra. Who says no? I don't know if you know. Is this like the home league or something? Home dynasty league?
This Connor. Connor is one of the guys in the home league, and he originally had Amon-Ra, and I traded him 2 first and Dalvin Cook for Amon-Ra and Jared Goff.
Dang.
But he just got GT. He got really lucky in the draft. His team is actually nice. He went from being a joke.
Dang, you
to
had to hit him with the
hitting on
lucky.
Daniels.
You hit him with the got lucky and joke. That's brutal. I'm sorry.
Well, no,
Connor.
because he got Bowers and then he also got Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, dang,
So now
that's a
his team
nasty
and
draft.
Bo Nix. So he went
Okay.
from like a team that everyone was like, this is going to be a multi-year thing, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, wait a minute, this guy's turning it around. And then this year he got Hampton and GT. So it's the hard part about that league is we have a draft lottery and we just changed the odds. The bottom 6 picks, I guess top 6, like 1 through 6 are all lottery based, and the odds were crazy, right? Like I think the bottom 3 had the same odds, but you could have the 5th pick and jump up to the 1.
Oh dang.
So we've had so many teams that just get screwed over and over.
The Pistons.
So you really have to just like load up on those picks. So we finally changed that rule to make it at least like if you're bad, you're going to get the good picks
Okay.
instead of like, a contender getting the 106 and that becomes the 102.
It's kind of fun. It probably does make first a little bit more, like obviously more volatile, but they carry a little bit more weight because they could be kind of deal. But Connor's saying what we're all thinking. He's avoiding the question. He's scared, which is wow, interesting trade negotiation tactic to call your trade partners scared.
Who would do that? Well,
maybe you deserve it. I don't know.
I mean, I probably. The hard part about this league is it is a start 3 wide receiver, so you do get screwed over. I have CD, Amon-Ra, Rashid Rice, and then my next one is Jaden Reed. So the drop off is pretty steep.
Do you know the running back room off the top of your head?
Yeah, I do. It's CMC, Alvin Kamara, James Conner, Aaron Jones, all the crusties. And then I think I have Tootin, and it gets to like Keaton Mitchell and Gross. So so I am interested in this type of deal though.
Yeah.
Because to me, I have all these elite young dynasty wide receivers. Can I move off of one and just go into a elite dynasty asset running back?
Connor, and I'm don't let me be the like weird middleman that's the co-host on the trade show trying to like inject himself into a trade negotiation. But would you, Jeremy,
let him be that.
Be interested in like with how deep that running back room is? So like when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, does this team really need to like move off an elite dynasty wide receiver for Genty, even though I love Genty, when you have like so many starters? So would you do that kind of deal if Connor's kicking you back some sort of wide receiver you feel decent about starting, even if it's like a 28, 29-year-old one, and you kick him back, whatever, Jones or Connor or something, because you have Genty, Kamara, and somebody else?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something. The issue is that he is desperate for wide receiver. That's kind of the thing. And I'm always like, I'll trade with you, but like, I'm not going to give you a discount on Rashid Rice.
Right.
Because I also know once I trade Rashid Rice, I'm down in Jaden Reed land. But I'm like, I'll give you Jaden Reed or Hollywood Brown or one of these gross guys I have. But then he's like, I don't want those guys. So it's one of those things of like, Like, does he want to pay up for the elite guy? And then I'm like, if I pay up for, then I'm in your exact same spot where I'm like, is Darnell Mooney available? It's kind of like
Yeah, worthy
a
Coleman Dobbs
worthy.
is what we got.
Yeah,
Dobbs
it's a
being
little
the
rough.
third. Dobbs being the third in the wide receiver room. And this is probably the
That's
most
why
pro
that's why
Dobbs
he's
guy you'll
needy.
find. And I'm saying that.
Get the Reed Dobbs stack. Then you get whichever one that goes off.
There you go.
You
Then
just
you can
don't know
watch
which one it
Matthew
is.
Golden go 7 for 80.
Yeah, that's true. I
Tucker
do have Josh
Kraft.
Allen, so maybe the Coleman Josh Allen stack.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it probably would have to be, you're giving him a nasty, like the worst of your, whatever, Aaron Jones or something for a receiver, but Kyle Williams.
Yeah,
and
it would
Pat
have to be like
Bryant.
Aaron Jones for.
Okay, Will is Kyle Williams, guys. Worthy Coleman Dobbs. Sheesh.
Damn.
Worthy's interesting.
That's what
Yeah,
that means.
that's tough.
His entire team was like that, and then he drafted, like, he hit on like a bunch of guys and turned it around. So now we just got to figure out what to do with these wide receivers so they can actually put together a decent team.
I'll let you mull it over. We don't have to turn all the questions, especially we're approaching the 2:11 mark of the stream. Thank you guys for hanging out and watching.
Should we do a lightning mode? I think we have a few live streams asks.
Oh, did we get some added in there?
Discord.
I know we have one that I have to throw in. Did we get in we'll throw this one up while we're doing mode. Shout out to what?
I'll hit this Big Diaz real quick. Does the Dynasty Daddy ranking weigh the wide receivers more because of Dynasty sentiment? Trade value wise, it is all based on whatever market you select. So typically, wide receivers just have higher sentiment, so that kind of reflects through that.
Yeah.
In terms of starter rank, it is based on your starting lineup. So if you have three starting wide receivers, that's going to play into account because you do have to start at least 3 wide receivers a week versus, like, this is a start 2 running back, start 3 wide receiver league. So the value of just a, wide receiver 3 is a lot more than that running back 3.
Love it. All right. I've got this one here. Shout out to Doobie. If you guys are not in the Discord, we're getting into it pretty late, so I don't know if this is the best time to do the get your questions answered on the live stream. If you put it in Discord, we are 2 hours in.
Discord's like a magic box. Like,
it is. You never know
if
what
you
you're
honestly
gonna get.
want your questions answered, post them in
It's
the
a
chat when I
guarantee.
put up the live stream.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I mean, we end up addressing, but there is a near future where we can't cover all the questions because Dynasty Daddy.
Wait, we can't go 6 hours
on top. Maybe if you give me a pee break, I could go 6 hours. But if you guys are not in the Discord, link in the description. You can throw your question in the live stream ask. This is one of those that was put in there, and don't worry, we're 2 hours in. We got to it. We're getting to it. 12-team Superflex half PPR tight end premium. How about this trade? 26 mid third and Devon Vele, newly traded to the Saints, or Chris Rodriguez in a 2028 fourth. Yeah, I actually don't hate like Chris Rodriguez as like, let me just make sure he needs to be rostered everywhere to see what, the first couple weeks are looking like as far as early down rush share. But to me, I'm just taking the third, regardless of the 2 crappy players involved in the trade.
Yeah, so for context, this is my friend Tristan. Shouts Tristan. He won the home league last year.
Oh.
And he's trying to collect all the Infinity Stones because he's a Commanders fan of all the
Every running back.
Commanders RBs.
That's what I'm doing with Dallas,
And
unfortunately.
I have 2 of them. I have Jeremy Nichols and Chris Rodriguez, and he has the other ones. But he keeps trying to. I told him I'd do it for a third, like you said, but then he keeps trying to like get a fourth out of me, and I'm like, no, I'll just do it for a third. Like yeah. So
Dang, you're
been going back and forth.
He's putting you on the stand right now on the Dynasty Daddy trade show, and you are not accepting a third and Devon Vele for Chris Rodriguez in a fourth. So I'm asking. I'm not. That was kind of a leading question, definitely. But no, I'm just.
I don't have many picks. So I want to try to drop that fourth, just because I know some people in that league love picks. People hoard picks in that league so hard that I know even a fourth is
you get the next bill with that fourth.
Yeah, like that I don't even want to use it. I don't want to take a third. I don't want to take a fourth. I don't want those players. I just know in that league the market for a pick is crazy. But I think realistically I'll probably end up taking that trade. I'm just trying to see how much I can get off of them.
All right, Diaz wants you to add Fab to the deal.
Okay. I'll do that. I'll do that and I'll send it out.
Nice. Look at that. Look at that. Good job, Diaz. Praise be to the fantasy fathers. We would be lost without ye. Dang, that's beautiful. Yo, what's up, Adam? I guess I can take this off the screen. 10 man.
You got some hempen. Oh yeah, go for it.
What was that? You got hemp? What do you have? Are you smocked right now?
Hempen hillbilly or whatever on in the YouTube channel, not in the live stream ass, but he has a trade question. So I want to make sure that
hempen hillbilly. Shout out hempen. Yeah, I will. Well, I'll get that. Why don't you take this one? I'll start putting that together.
Okay, yeah, this.
Can you see it?
So Adam A123, 10-man full PPR. Burrow, Bucky, Chase, Brown, Jamar, Rice, Tyler Warren, Egbuka, Waddle, Moore, Tracy. Also got Sharb if K9 is hurt. Any tips or suggestions? Purdy and Ertz on bench 2. So I guess a 10-team full PPR. I don't know if you mentioned, Adam, if you're still in here, if it is a super flex league or not. I think that would add a little bit of extra flavor on how we would want to play quarterback. For example, that Purdy would be valuable, but considering you only listed one, I'm not too concerned. Or I imagine it's 1 QB. Jamar Rice. I think really what I would try to do is probably not super flex. I imagine it's probably consolidation. You have a lot of guys in here like a Waddle, a Moore, even Rice. Like, it depends how many starters, but judging by what is listed, if I can consolidate like a Waddle, add something to Waddle and get to a little bit higher of a player, I'd feel better kind of rounding out the bottom of the roster. But overall, I think it's really good. I mean, you got obviously having Chase Brown, Jamar Chase. You basically get the 2 best pieces of that offense, stack it with Burrow as well. Love the young running back room, especially in a 10-man league. You just need to really just consolidation. That's going to probably, unless if it's a 10-team, start 16 players or something crazy, consolidation is always going to win you that type of league. I mean, so you got Dabadoobie. Oh, you want to say something?
No, I was going to stall by making fun of you, and I think we're good. I was just gonna say I needed 10 more seconds of analysis, and then you were giving it to me, so then I felt
you're
bad.
Good. You're good. So, I was gonna hit my favorite redraft picks this year.
Ooh, yeah, great one.
I think quarterback, I would say Justin Fields, because I think a lot of redraft leagues just don't want to touch him, but you can get him super, super, super late. Running back, who's a cheap running back I like is probably like an Austin Eckler. I feel like he's overrated or underrated in terms of the situation.
Yeah, if you're going like real
properly
nasty.
Valued is like a Hampton. I'm a sucker for Hampton. And with the Henderson hype, I think people are just not paying attention to Hampton. A lot of those rookies can really outshine, so he's probably one of the better values. Chase Brown is also someone that I feel like is becoming more of a value as we go on as well. And then tight end, I think Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews low-key probably could be tight end 4 behind Kittle in the big 2. So I like that. And then wide receiver, I'm trying to think. What's a good
I think my thing with like redraft picks, I think for me a lot of it is like really checking the ADPs and understanding your league on these sites, because I mean, I've said it all the time, but like Egbuka goes very late on a lot of these redraft sites. A lot of rookies in general go late. So like I think Hunter, and I think Hunter's a great managed pick too, because I think a lot of people asking these kind of questions in a Dynasty Trade Show chat are good enough drafters to be taking like solid rosters, like not eating zeros later in their drafts with receivers that they take. So I think making the Travis Hunter bet, even if you don't love him at the range he goes, yeah, Pearsall is another good one. He goes pretty late.
I will say Big Diaz. There's a reason I've been banging this drum, and I do not want to. I do not want to have to be the guy that's eh, going out to the Hamptons. I don't want to be doing that. But I have watched this dude feast on my team, NC State, nonstop every single year. It's like, oh, he's going to rip off like an 80-yard touchdown run. And I also saw him dominate against Georgia Tech as well, who's my father-in-law's team. And they're also much improved. Like they're probably a better team than NC State last year. But I mean, Hampton they're like, we need something good to happen. And Hampton was the one to make the play. It wasn't anyone else.
All right. I have the first. We got two. One's from Hempin Hillbilly here.
Hampton.
So, and I got a message from Hempin in the Discord chat that the phone doesn't sync with the TV and that the questions will have to be answered in the Discord.
Oh, we're on the TV.
Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, I got a screenshot in one of the leagues. I think it was, was it Birds? Oh, now I feel bad. Let me pull this one up here. So this one, I believe, is a startup trade review because I see a 10th round pick in 2025. But then again, I don't know. 2025 third round pick was Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
And then I think so they must have done the rookie draft after this. And now he has all the answers to what the picks ended up being. But I have. So I'll pull up the
Ollie Gordon.
All right, Hempin Hillbilly here. Here we go. We're figuring this out, guys. Don't worry. Hempin Hillbilly. Okay, I'm gonna move this up top. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's a lot going on here. Okay, there's a lot going on, but do not fear. We're gonna pull up the question. We'll put up here. Here we go. Here we go. And then we'll move this guy down. Yeah, we got there. All right, Hempin Hillbilly.
Big Diaz. That's a good question.
10 by 12, 1.5 10 in premium. 2025 third round pick ended up being Ollie Gordon. Got the whole Dolphins run game. The 2025 second with Bowers was Bill. So we got Brock Bowers and Bill and a 10th round starter pick for Achane, Laporta, Jalen Wright, Ollie Gordon in a 2027 second. 1.5 tight end premium. Man, Achane and Laporta. Are you paying that for Bowers in a 1.5? Wait, 1.5 is that truth? Is that truthfully 1.5 or 0.5? Okay, the league went from 12
catch 2.5 points.
Yeah, let us
is
know.
Every catch 2.5 points. That's what I need to know.
I will say the yeah, I think that is pretty. So this is additional context. The league went from 12 to 10. So there was a supplemental draft, then the rookie draft. So that 10th round pick probably was pretty not important.
I feel like if
that was a 10th round.
Like a math test.
Yeah, I'm just happy there isn't a fourth image I have to put up on the screen or we might be in trouble. We might be blocking Jeremy's face. Not mine, of course, but yeah, the Ollie hype is happening. He gets the whole running back room, so not concerned about missing out on the hype there.
So
but
Bowers and Bill for all the running backs, and I guess the Bowers to Laporta isn't that bad, even if there's a big tight end premium.
Hempin Hillbilly
like
is
a downgrade, but
yeah, the Achane is too volatile an asset compared to Bowers. Hempin,
gotcha.
if
so you got Bowers.
Yeah, Hempin, if you can let me know what if the 1.5 tight end premium is.
We're working our way
just
through this.
Just 0.5, like it's PPR for everyone and then 0.5 for tight ends, or if it's actually PPR for everyone and tight ends get 1.5 on top of that. I would love to watch you guys do a stream stoned. No, dude.
I think there might be more images on the overlay if that happened.
When Will smoked, he gets too paranoid. I mean, when I'm fully sober, I talk in third person. So
two in his head.
I'd get real stressed about all these deals.
I think I like this trade because you also got Gene T, so it's not like you need Achane to be that locked-in guy. I don't mind saying, hey, especially if the tight end premium is this souped up. I mean, Brock Bowers is going to score like 500 points.
Yeah. Bowers, Hunter, Igbuka, Waddle, Genty, Sharp, Bill. I mean, this is kind of like this is a nice rebuilding roster too. And too, I mean, we talk about it, even if it's just 0.5 versus 1.5, but Bowers just holds weight, even in 0.5 tight end premiums of like tight ends matter too. So like even as a rebuilding team, if you were coming out of the rebuilds and let's say Fannin hits and, you know, Chig and Theo, I mean, these are kind of like Will's. You just hit Will's favorite last round tight end picks in all of my best ball drafts: Harold Fannin, Chig Okonkwo, and Theo Johnson. Hopefully one of those guys is good this year. I do this
I will say
stream stoned every week.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I like it being like he does the stream stoned every week. Like it's an experience for him. I wonder how I am to a high dynasty degenerate. Let me know, Hempen. He keeps coming back, so or she.
He's coming back. He must like what he sees.
Wait, we got a lot of I mean, Dabadoobie. I kind of expect Dabadoobie to be in on the Smock stream. All right, 2K subs by the season, and we're doing a Smock. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna. That's a weird promise to make, but it was a funny one. All right, yeah, I like this move. I think you don't if you feel like you're a rebuilding team, and even though I like Igbuka and Hunter a lot this year, I mean, I'm sure there are teams that just have nasty running back rooms on top of veteran receivers that are just projecting better than Waddle and Olave in their current situations. A lot of young receivers that I like. Bowers, Pitts. You got your own first for next season. Yeah, you know what?
I think I like Bill.
it.
I think that's what I would do with all the hype. I'm like, if I'm rebuilding, Bill probably doesn't fit my window.
Yeah, but I mean, unless he's Ladainian Tomlinson for the Commanders, Bucky Irving. This year's Bucky. All right, Hempen, we are going to hit another one, and then I'll come back for the second. This has been kind of cool. Third wall, talking to Hempen through that. All right, so we're gonna lightning mode. We'll hit Hempen second, and then Will's gonna pee. That's the plan, guys. Put it down on your phones so you don't forget. Hey, what's up, Larry? I can't send the screenshot in the chat. It's in Discord. Is that you, Hempen? Let me know. If not, Larry, I'm in the Discord right now. Larry just said I can't send screenshots in the chat. It's in the Discord. So I assume that is Hempen. Wait, did you just do this one?
No, I haven't. The T-Mac or Rice for a
27 third. 10-man start 12. So you can kind of do 12 start 10.
I mean, the third doesn't matter a ton. It's kind of just 1-for-1 at this point. I'll just let the Panthers bias take me over here. Let's go T-Mac. He's going to play. I imagine if you're in a start 12 as well, even though it's 10-man, like having T-Mac for most of the season, and you could probably trade him week 5 for Rice anyway. Like, I don't see a reason for me to necessarily do this deal now, because I don't think Rice is going to be valued so much higher than T-Mac when he comes back.
All right, I am 43% pulling this through. I'm giving you live updates.
I don't know what that means.
That means pull up another question so I can pull this
Okay.
so I can get to 100%.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Okay. Kobe, what's up? Back from the dead. Is K9 and RJ Harvey?
Gosh. Oh, jeez.
Is K9 and RJ Harvey solid RBs for 12-man PPR?
I'm making you go full screen after that
Nico
one.
And Lamb.
I'm not going to be involved in this.
They are making a documentary about that, about Kobe. I did see that. K9 and I would say in a 12-man league like this, I would probably look to add just a cheap, boring handcuff like a Pollard or a Aaron Jones, just in case RJ Harvey takes a little bit to come online. But I wouldn't feel bad about this. I mean, wide receivers are your strength, and you just kind of need to get by with your RBs. Which one of these guys are easy to bench, to drop are easy bench players to drop to the waiver wire in the shallow league. Milton, Booty, Whittington, Sanders, Ford, Gasecki, Gray, Kemet, Mayer. I'd probably say most of these tight ends, unless your tight end premium's pretty high, just because you listed off 4 of them. So I probably say, hey, which one do you like? And the other ones you can probably get rid of. I also feel fine dropping like Whittington and Booty. I don't think they're going to really provide much. Miles Sanders is gross, but still has some upside of there's not much there.
All right, I am ready, but I also need to know, did you do a goofy accent when you brought up Julio's name? I wasn't listening.
I did not actually
I just want to
mention Julio's name.
All right, good to know. All right, here we go. We got this one. This is a 12 by 10, 1.75 tight end premium, and this is Pickens, Kincaid, and a second for Daniel Jones, Kraft, and Golden. Ooh,
I'm probably going Pickens side. I feel.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's the side our smocked friend is receiving. Yeah, I like the Pickens and Golden. I like upside wise, maybe you give Golden the nod, but I think they're pretty similar bets. And then Daniel Jones is the price you're paying for moving off of.
Yeah, and then you get the flexible
Kraft
piece of the second that I can plug and play where I need to.
And then with this roster
and then you also
too,
stack Kincaid. You stack Kincaid with Josh Allen.
Yeah, and you got my GOAT, Theo Johnson. But yeah, Josh Allen, T-Law. You got Hampton, Bill on this roster as well. Marv, Pickens. I mean, is this with this roster specifically? I guess like the one part about it is like, even though I feel better about the Pickens projection for this season, it's not like he's so much older than Golden that, a team that is kind of on the fraud borderline, pushing a rebuilding team. But you got some first to play with too. And those extra seconds, I mean, you could turn around and get yourself an RB2 with 2 seconds, and then you got Pickens, Marv, Hunter, Shaheed. Maybe you find yourself another receiver. Maybe you go to a tanking team that has a veteran running back and receiver, give him a couple seconds. You just got one in this deal and kind of turn this into a team you're competing now and have 2 firsts for next season.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the move I would be making. You have enough flexibility to move some of those seconds, patch those holes with some gross players, and not really sell your future.
Beautiful. Thanks, gents.
Just sent Chubb in a second, not mine, and a 4th for Quinshawn. Thoughts? I think that's a fine deal. 12 team, 12 by 10, super flex, 0.5 PPR.
I mean, Chubb.
I think that's a good move.
Yeah, Chubb could very easily be like a fool's gold starting running back. Like, obviously the no mix-in situation you feel good about, but hard to project any pass catching. We're not feeling the Houston offensive line. It could be 6 weeks and then it's yikes. So, I mean, basically a second and a 4th, and the second's in 2028 for Judkins. De nada, Julio. All right. Which one?
I think we've caught up, right?
Heck yeah. All right. Appreciate you all. Before I'm gonna do my little mini outro. Check out the new video, guys. Come on, if you haven't watched it, and if you have watched it, watch it again. Maybe you missed some nuggets in there you wanna rewatch. But more importantly, actually equally important, Thursday night, the final. Not forever, but for this upcoming season. Maybe I'll do some of those like mid-season drafts. Definitely playoff, but best ball and Dynasty Q&A. It is fun. It is chill. If you thought this stream was weird, wait till you see Will on a Thursday night.
That's the selling point. Yeah, you think this one's weird? Just wait.
Don't take this the wrong way. You should because I hope the answer is no, I haven't. But did you happen to watch the final 15 minutes of last week's best ball draft stream? I hope the answer is no.
I missed that part, but I do watch. I'm going
to
watch it.
No, you don't need to watch it.
I'm definitely watching it now.
Highly recommend for anyone that is down to clown, loves the tomfoolery. things got weird. Is all I'll say. We were watching
Oh, I,
Will's edit he made for himself from playing football with his friends for the rookie draft. That was what it was for. It's for the rookie draft with all my friends I was going to. I just finished that little cute video I made. All right. I have done my intro,
wow.
outro aspect. Oh no. Wait, you're pulling it up right now?
Oh, I have it on my other screen.
Am I about to get fired?
That's a must watch. That's a must watch.
I think at some point I was like,
I'll
I
have to
hope
watch that.
I was like, Jeremy's gonna send me a text like 3 days from now and be like, hey man, what the hell was going on? I told him, I was like, this is kind of the best ball stream's kind of like Will's thing, you know? You never know what you're gonna get. Need more highlights this week? That's all I got.
That's a wild card moment.
That's all I got. I could probably pull up like 3. Actually, there is one funny clip that exists on YouTube of me playing basketball where somebody shot a half court shot and I was running down the court to like get the rebound before the time ran out, and this guy just like hip checked me into the stands, and I went 1 for 2 from the free throw line, unfortunately. But all right, I did my outro stuff. Dynasty Daddy season 4 is here. Check it out. Watch the video. Head over to this YouTube. Wait, what? Head over to this Twitter. Right, this Twitter has the full breakdown of what's new, what you can check out. Is that correct,
It does.
Jeremy?
We
I
have
can't go
that.
any deeper.
It also is on the Reddit.
Yes.
I don't think that's linked below, and also in the Discord.
For sure. All right. Any closing words, Jeremy, before Will Pease?
I mean, I'm excited. We're on the
yes.
Eve's Eve. No. On the Eve's Eve of football. I'm excited for Dynasty Daddy season 4. Got a lot of exciting things. And I'm hoping I'll have to do a bunch of rollouts and talk through all these features. I do want to have a better way of showing off everything because everyone's like, wait, it actually can do that. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for all of that, and to keep these streams going during the season, we'll have more to talk about. So I'm excited to grow the channel, grow the site, and keep things going.
Yeah, and be excited. I will say the Dynasty. This isn't just a plug for you guys to keep coming back to the Dynasty trade shows. We know, it's not just redraft and the waiver wire where you win your leagues during the season. It's the Dynasty leagues as well. Man, being active throughout the season, making the trades at the right times, you know, constructing your roster, and maybe next week, potential special guest on the Dynasty Daddy trade show, potentially. And at the very least, you get the 2 of us, right? So come smocked, come ready to hang.
We're always special.
Come with your trades. Appreciate you all. And we'll see ya Thursday night and then Tuesday night.
Thursday.
Heck yeah. All right. Peace out.
Peace.